Hello, everyone. Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast.
Hey, now it's Clay. How you doing?
Happy Boxing Day for our friends across the pond. I think that's what they celebrate today.
Boxing Day in Canada,
Boxing Day.
eh?
Boxing Day. Just everybody out in the streets with their fists out. Oh boy, man, that was gonna get really dirty very quickly. So we won't do that.
Nope.
Clay, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Sitting in the post Christmas atmosphere here at the house.
Yeah, same. I know we were not planning to do a show.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking yesterday, like, it's Christmas. I finally gotten a chance to watch a lot of the stuff that I hadn't been able to because of the break.
Yeah.
Um,
I've watched a ton of things.
yeah, I was like, I want to talk to these guys. So I told everybody, like, look, if you're available, let's do something, even if it's something short, kind of like what we did last week. I know it's just me and Josh ping ponging back and forth. So that's what today is going to be as well. We're just gonna talk a little bit about. I guess we'll go into a little bit about what we did for Christmas. Share
Yeah.
with the audience. Catch up on all the stuff we've been talking about. We'll talk a little bit about Hawkeye, the last episode, and then when everyone's back, then we'll talk about the full season as a whole.
I know I want to talk about it so bad.
I'm also stay tuned for the channel because I'm working on ranking the 9 MCU projects we got this year. Can you believe we got 9 fucking MCU projects in 1 year? And
Yes, I can.
we got them in 9 months because they didn't kick off with like till I think what was it WandaVision in March, right?
Yeah,
Was it March?
WandaVision, then Winter Soldier and Falcon,
Then Loki,
Loki,
Black Widow.
Black Widow movie. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, we got
I don't
series,
remember the order,
movies.
but they'll all be there. I'm only doing MCU stuff, so unfortunately, Venom cannot take that top spot.
Which we saw last night.
Oh, you did? Oh,
Yes.
great! I was so excited.
I know I do want to talk about it. I didn't even note it on there. I kept going because it was weird watching Venom. And did you notice Tom Hardy? I know this is going to be an old reference. Do you remember this really old movie called Beverly Hills Cop?
Yes, I did notice that.
Tom Hardy was dressed as as Axel in Beverly Hills Cop. It looked
Yep,
awesome.
I love that. I was like that jacket looks familiar. It was weird because it's like, why would he be? He lives in San Francisco. Why would he
He's
be
wearing
wearing
a
a Detroit Lions jacket?
and he's got the Mumford shirt.
But then yeah, once I started watching like explainer videos and Easter egg videos and all that stuff, everybody was like, oh yeah, this is and I was like, oh fuck yeah, it is. How did I miss that? I was almost waiting for Eddie Murphy to show up in the after credits.
And be a new form of Carnage.
Oh, you know what? Our question of the day is going to be, who would Eddie Murphy play in the MCU? So keep that in the back of your head.
Shit.
There, I just came up with it. We didn't have one. I know you had one for last week, but then Josh and I forgot what you said in the Discord, and we couldn't find it.
I held off because I didn't want to spoil Hawkeye.
Oh, okay, good. Then we'll just save it for the next show. As long as you remember what it is.
Oh yeah, it mainly deals with what you see at the end of Hawkeye, and with that piece, what other things would you like to see?
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, just real quick. So, how was your Christmas? What do you guys?
Pretty great.
What happens at the Harrison household?
At the Harrison household, we put up the tree, but we didn't put up a tree this year. Mm-hmm. So I put up the Bruce tree. You've seen the Bruce tree. So I have a corner of the house that's kind of dedicated to Bruce Willis that now has a tree lit with lights on it. And then we light up the entire Die Hard section of my movie collection.
That's great.
Because I have Die Hard in VHS, the double VHS, the triple VHS that came out. I have Die Hard 1 and 2 on Laserdisc, and then, of course, DVD, Blu-rays, Steelbooks, 4K. I have quite a bit.
I hope somebody leaves a question. What the fuck is a Laserdisc on the comments?
What is Laserdisc?
I know what they are. I'm old enough to know. I I don't have one, unfortunately. I've thought about buying a few, like when I find like a Batman movie or something at the half price books or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, but what the fuck am I gonna do with this? But then I'm like, oh, but look at all the cool art. So
Yeah, it's like buying an album that you
mhm.
could display.
Yeah,
So
I don't really play my vinyls either. They're just kind of sitting there. I just really bought them as art pieces. Um,
I do and I don't. There's some that I've opened and played and some that I haven't.
oh, speaking of which, damn, I don't have the box with me. Well,
What?
whatever. I'll share it on social media, but I got. We'll talk about it when we get to. Um, I guess it doesn't really matter with anything else that we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's the Mondo Justice League vinyl set finally came in.
You don't have.
It's 7 vinyls, and I
Okay, well,
don't have it with me so I can see it. I might make an unboxing video just to go over the whole thing instead.
I have a Mondo vinyl right here handy. Let me grab it.
Grab it. Oh my god, that's the one with the color vinyls inside, right?
Yep.
Like
You want to see?
Yeah.
Whoops. You got your Starros, your tiny Starros, and then you got your big Starro.
Oh my god, that's so cool. I thought about buying that one. I think by the time I made up my mind, they were sold out. So I was like, that's probably for the best when it comes to my wallet. Because
Yeah,
I had just bought the Justice League not too long ago before that.
and I love this. I mean, this is one of those that you buy for the album art and the music. It's
Yep.
fantastic.
Is it music from the movie? Like, is it different tracks from the movie?
Yeah.
Oh,
So, so it's got like some of the pop music, some of the instrumental stuff.
cool. Okay.
If you want to take me
Cool.
off large screen now,
I forgot.
I feel giant.
Do you? Do you feel seen?
Yeah, but I got all the Netflix albums.
I've seen those on your wall. Yeah. I think they're on our website. Go to nextissuepodcast.com. There's
Yeah,
a little article that Clay posted about part of his collection. You may be able to see the
Bruce Willis.
the Bruno collection.
Yes, I do even have the Bruno album. So
Great. I think you can,
that's what I
as you
don't play
should.
too much. But we went
All
out
right.
to eat. We went to, our family Christmas is pretty much Shelby's dad takes us out. And we get together with them, and then we go over to her mom's. And we went to her mom's yesterday, or Christmas Eve, and have dinner. She made a brisket, and we all kind of hang out. Her brother has a little kiddo that's like, he's under 2, so we just kind of hang out and play with him, and that's it.
Cool. All the presents. That was the same with us. We usually start things off on Christmas Eve and get everybody together for dinner. I showed up after the religious part of it, where my family likes to do a prayer, rosary, and stuff like that. It takes about
Yeah.
20 to 30 minutes, and then we do dinner. Uh, and then then we waited. We try to wait till midnight, but we decided midnight in New York was good enough. So at around 11 p.m. we started opening gifts and just start giving out. It's really nice. I mean, now that my cousins have kids too, and like it's really nice to see them be pretty excited for opening up all the gifts. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good time. And then on Christmas Day, like after we get up and whoever is available, they just go back and we have leftovers at my other aunt's house, which is also very nice. But I did watch a lot of stuff. I know you watched a lot of stuff.
I watched a ton of stuff.
So let's get into that. We'll go to I guess previously on next issue segment, but that's really what the show's going to be. So yeah, we'll just ping pong back and forth, but I'll let you kick things off.
Let's see here where to start. Okay, I want to start with a complaint just to get it out of the way.
Oh, this is the Festivus section of the podcast.
Just to air my grievance. This year I started to play Magic online. I played the Magic Arena game on my iPad to start learning how to play the game. Stores weren't doing, hosting gaming stuff, but apparently that is a big push, is stores can get exclusive stuff if they're hosting gaming, and like you kind of have to be a good store to get shit. Is kind of my understanding from it.
An active
And
store. Yeah.
and so during COVID, it's impossible to just clear out your store and set up safety protocols and host a card game.
Yep.
And so this week, Wizards of the Coast announced they're bringing games back. They're bringing games back into the stores, and the big star of this is Post Malone.
Oh.
Now I realize nobody has to point out I'm a 50-year-old white guy, and so I'm not the audience for that.
That's Highland Park's own Post Malone. He's from here, Clay.
Well,
local hometown hero of Post Malone.
Who I don't know. I don't understand the appeal of having somebody like that come into your collectible card game who does. I mean, his other commercial is for Jägermeister. Like, I don't understand this endorsement of this game. We're going to bring back Fridays because apparently Friday night gaming was a big thing for Magic. But as a new player, I don't understand any of this. I don't understand the purpose of Post Malone being in it. I just want to be able to go online and play the game. And I have quit playing because they keep putting out more cards and discontinuing old cards. So I have to figure out how to redo a deck. So as a new player with not a lot of people to bounce this off of, I just don't want to play the game anymore. Like, it's just not fun. And Post Malone's not going to bring me back to it. I liked the art, and that's pretty much where I'm at in it.
Yeah, I think Constructed was always a really challenging thing for me to get into. So I used to play Commander because that's like, it doesn't go away, right? You don't have to change cards.
But see, I don't even know that stuff yet. See, because my store hasn't been able to host things and go.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sit hours trying to learn a card game that I should be able to just pick up and play.
Yeah, well, and maybe Commander is what you really want to play.
Yeah.
And this is very limited knowledge. I've only played a few things. Like, I had a coworker that he would invite me to play, and then he would just bring me one of his decks. But they sell pre-constructed decks. It's, you pick one main card, and then you have 100 cards, no repeats. But you can pick from pretty much whatever card, right? There's no restrictions on that, or there's very little restrictions on it. So that one's more inviting to people that don't play all the time because you don't have to keep changing with every cycle when they release new cards. Like, you could pop in new cards if you wanted to, but you don't have to. That's kind of the beauty of it. But yeah, maybe that's something to look into in the future.
I've started to create my own card game.
I like that.
I'd rather. It's been easier to look at and go, why are all these card games so complex and difficult? Why can't I make an easy one? So I just started writing up one I thought would be fun.
Yeah.
And then trying to create a point system to it.
That actually sounds pretty interesting. I don't know how games are made. I've always been interested in figuring it out, and I see a lot of stuff. I know there's a lot of games on Kickstarter from, people that just wanted to have their own game, like you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That'd be cool.
I looked up because I was looking for a particular type of card game.
Mm-hmm.
Found it on Kickstarter. The guy's got a great idea and everything, but all of it is just leaning into, well, then you'll get foil cards. You'll get all this other kind of limited edition stuff, but I just didn't see any focus on playing the game. Like, I don't see that in a lot of these card games. It's all about collecting, and it's like, well, where's the fun?
It's a fine balance between being a collector and a player. I like collecting more, which is why I still buy like Yu-Gi-Oh cards and stuff, even though I haven't played the game in more than a decade.
Yeah.
But I just like the cards, and I do like the shiny ones better.
Yeah.
So
I know. I mean, I still get packs because I love the art. I love different versions of the cards. And when I get a foil one, it's kind of neat. I don't look up the prices on all of them, but I filed them away, and now I'm like, well, I don't even play. Is it worth it anymore? But it's really the art that brings me back. That's really what I enjoy about seeing who's doing what in there and how cool it looks. Some of the cool concepts.
Yeah, well, there's nothing like the boost of endorphins that you get from opening a pack and pulling a rare card, and you're like, yes, give me this. I've never done drugs, but I imagine it's something like that.
What's the rarest card you've ever pulled from a pack?
Um, so one of the ones I'm more happy about, and maybe I don't know if I have it around. It's actually an error card. It's I opened the pack and the foil. This one, it was a pack that comes with at least one foil card, but it was like a test card. So it's like it's just like the TV when the signal goes out and it's just like
Yeah.
color bars. It looks like that. It's just the color. So it's that, but it's for like an ultra rare card. So it's really shiny too.
Oh,
I looked online and it depends because some people really like these error printings being out in the wild. Some people don't care about them, so the price kind of fluctuates.
yeah.
Um, so I think that's probably one of them. But I really like having that card because it's like an error. Like you don't; those are rare. Like they're really rare,
Very
right? They're not
rare.
even supposed to be out there. Kind of like having one of those misprint or recalled comics, like back in the day.
Yeah.
Um, or the I was looking online. I saw a TikTok. This kid, he collects posters, and he said his mom found his high school poster of Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man, the recalled poster where he has the reflection of the twin towers in his eyes. Like
Oh,
I don't know if
yeah.
you remember that poster.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like stuff like that is just neat. So that's probably one of them. I mean, I don't know, Clay. I opened so many packs recently. Um,
In college, I used to collect basketball cards. I was really into basketball. I loved the Mavericks, college basketball, and Upper Deck. I mean, this is back when Upper Deck was really blowing up, and so
yeah.
they had put out. I think it was Upper Deck. I can't remember which. Yeah, it was because I bought a box and then just sat there and opened packages, just one after the other. And so they actually had autograph cards in there. And at the time, Jamal Mashburn had just signed with the Dallas Mavericks. And
Oh,
so
cool.
I have a Jamal Mashburn autographed Kentucky card before he even went pro. The guy's retired now, and I know it's old as fuck, but opening a card for a player who hasn't even played yet that you knew was going to be like pretty big at the time was pretty
Yep.
cool.
That's neat. Yeah, no, I like that. I think, and that's a big part of I think why the collectability stuff is coming back, and that's probably its own whole show that we could dive into. Just that, and so I actually have a friend who runs a store in Oklahoma, Covenant Team Covenant. I may see if I can bring him on the podcast because they talk about all that stuff. They have their own podcast and they talk about collectible games and collectability. They actually are one of the few stores that they don't sell Magic or Pokemon.
Oh, really?
They do other collectible games that are more niche or maybe not as big, or Yu-Gi-Oh. So the big three, they don't sell any of those. They focus on other stuff and board games. So it's kind of neat that they've had success for over a decade without, like, some of the stores live on this Friday Night Magic model, right? Where Magic
Okay.
is what's keeping them afloat. So yeah, the fact that they've made a whole business, made it through the pandemic, and they're thinking about changing and opening a bigger location soon. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll try to see if I can get them on the podcast because I think that'd be pretty cool.
I would love to because right now what I've been looking for is solo board games. Did you know these existed where you can play a game by yourself?
Yes, yes, I there's a Star Wars game that came out recently that has a solo mode, so you can. It's a multiplayer thing. I forget the name, but I almost bought it because during the pandemic I was looking for something to do other than just watch stuff. The game came out, and the only problem is that for board games, I'm a bad learner of like reading the instructions. I need to play with someone and then I understand the game.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to get into it without having anybody to kind of bounce that back and forth. But yeah, a lot of these games are introducing, which is pretty smart to introduce like solo modes or just have. I haven't heard of a game that's specifically for you to play by yourself. But I know a lot of them that are starting to do like you could just play against like the AI of the board game.
Well, that was the purpose of me creating my own card game because I couldn't find any solo games that were cheap to play. They were all like at least starting at $40 or up. And it's
Hmm.
like, I could buy a video game. I mean, hey now, Rob.
Yeah, it's really cool. I think that might be something we look into for next year.
Yeah, I really would like to have him on and just talk solo board gaming because I'm looking for something. And I mean, it's weird because there are so many people out there. I've got a friend on Twitter recommended me a couple of games. I was at Target. The guy in line goes, "Oh, if you're looking for a solo game, play this. This one's easy and fun."
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
I also like that it is more mainstream now. So like, you don't have to like go to the back of the board game store and try to. It's almost kind of like if you're going into the porn shop and you're trying to find the, give me the good stuff. Like it almost feels like that sometimes with like game, or it used to feel like that, or even with comics, but not anymore. Like it's all kind of mainstream now. So like it's all right there at your Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, if I can find a great solo board game or something like right now, it's hard to explain, but because of my back problems and I'm on drugs a lot, so it's hard to focus on video games and even read sometimes. So like a board game that I can play by myself and just stop and kind of get back together and play.
I'm gonna ship you a bunch of my cards, and I want you to put them in order and organize them, and then we'll figure out how to play.
Okay, that's what I've been doing with all the cards I have. I mean, what's wild is I even went back to some of my basketball cards. I think I showed these a while back that I had the Rex Chapman cards that have the Menendez brothers in them. I have 2 of those.
I remember that. I was like, oh shit. Cool. Are you reading the Magic comic? I don't know if we talked about it.
Yes, it's Jed Mckay.
Yep.
It's a Boom comic. It is a beautiful book. The art is so fantastic. The storyline in it is incredibly boring, and that is not Jed Mckay's fault apparently. Because I complained. I was talking to my comic guy Josh, and I said, "Josh, what's going on with this story? It's about like politics and bullshit." And he goes, "Oh, that's the current storyline in the Magic." And I'll go, "Why would anyone want to read that?"
I mean, it's doing pretty well from what I see. They've announced a bunch of one shots, and I get it. Magic's a big property. Yeah, when I reviewed it for the channel, I definitely made it known. Like, look, those are not for me. Like, but I can see how you would be like if you're deep in the lore, how you would want to know more about that.
Yeah, and so I've tried to find like some of the lore to get into it, but it's like there are a ton of novels. I don't want to read a novel. I want to get into some of the comics.
Mm-hmm.
Shelby's found some of the older ones that came out. Like it's funny, even Liam, is it Liam Sharp? Yeah, I think did some of the art in one of them.
Oh,
no, not Liam Sharp. Oh my God!
Because if it was Liam Sharp, I would definitely love to see that.
Val Merrick.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
He did because I was surprised Shelby found an old issue 1 of a Magic book. She goes, "I don't know if this will have some stuff to help you." And then I saw the artist. I was like, "This is the guy that created Howard the Duck."
Yep. Local dude too. He's around all the time because he lives in Austin. So usually conventions, he's at least before he used to come up all the time.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
Yeah, for sure. I got a really nice cover from of Rocket from him.
Oh, really? How cool.
Yep. He's dressed in the Al Ewing suit that he gave him. Is it? I think it's Al Ewing.
Yeah, the kind of like, I want to say an 80s type suit.
Yeah, that one.
A Don Johnson suit.
Well, speaking of Rocket, I'll go into the first thing I read. I finally read Old Man Quail. Remember we talked about, we read Old Man Hawkeye. We were all really excited. I know Adrian kind of brought it up because he really liked the book. And the reason I read it, it's Old Man Quail 1 through 12 by Ethan Sachs and multiple artists. I read it because this Wednesday we're getting a one-shot of Old Man Quail back in the Wastelands. We got one for Hawkeye last week. We got one for Old Man Logan a couple weeks ago. And in the Hawkeye one, it does give you the note, like, these events take place after Old Man Hawkeye. And Old Man Hawkeye leaves with a really cool kind of cliffhanger end credit thing. I don't know if you remember who he meets at the top of the mountain. As his new master. I don't want to go too much into it, but he may or may not be a lawyer.
Oh.
Because he needs to learn he's going blind, right? So he needs to learn how to get around.
It's Foggy Nelson?
Yeah, because it all takes place before the Old Man Logan story. By the time we see him in Old Man Logan, he's already able to drive the spider buggy, even though he's blind. So he had to learn that stuff somehow. So
That's
yeah,
a that is a fun world to play with, and I
yes,
think Ethan Sachs runs that show right now. I know
yeah,
Mark Miller created it, but Ethan Sachs does such a great fun job in that book.
yeah. I like I said, I think I definitely like what Ethan Sachs has been doing for the past few years. I love when they revisit this stuff. I love going back to the Wastelands because it's such an interesting.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for seeing alternate versions of like the characters that we like, or maybe different versions or newer, more like legacy. We meet Hawkeye and uh, who is it? Who has a kid that's a spider?
Oh,
I guess Hawkeye and Spider Man's daughter have a kid.
May.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it is. Which I don't want to think too much about the timeline of that, but of
My
how old who was when.
my hope is that they put together an old man omnibus with
Mhm.
Logan, with Hawkeye, with
Yeah,
Quill, all the Ethan Sachs stories. I would
yeah,
totally buy something like that. I didn't
yeah,
know these were one shots now, so now I need to go back and buy them.
yeah. So these are just one shots. I think I believe something's coming because they're doing a bunch of them. So they have to be preparing for something. But this book is well. It starts up really sad because it's an old man story,
Yeah.
so it has to be. But then it's really cool. Then it gets sad again. But then then we get to the end, and it's pretty satisfying overall. Yeah, I read it all like in 2 days. I started reading and I read like 6 issues in a row because I couldn't stop. Then we had to go get Christmas dinner, and then in the
Hold
morning,
on. Stop Christmas. I'm in the wasteland. I need to
yeah,
read.
hold on. These people need water and a hero. And then Christmas morning, that's what I woke up and I finished reading it. So it was a lot of fun. So I'm ready for the Old Man Quill one shot next week. And they introduced some really great shit. And Star Lord's not normally a character that I enjoy reading by himself, or at least stories focused around them.
Yeah.
But this one was a good one, and there's a whole lot of twists and turns that you like. Then it gets really weird, and then so it really is like it's a really weird book that may not feel like an old man story, but it really is.
Yeah, and see, like I know last time I was on, I picked on Al Ewing for his Guardians of the Galaxy
Mhm.
take on Star Lord. I just wasn't a fan of that. So I love when they can focus on one character. They know the character. They don't want to change him. They just want to deal with what he's gone through.
Yep.
I like that.
Yeah. So for this one, I'll tell you just the premise. It starts with Star Lord being the ruler of Spartax, but that means he's had to leave the Guardians,
Yeah.
and then things happen from there, which is really interesting. I would love to see. I would also read a story about maybe Peter Quill accepting that he has to become the leader of Spartax.
Which is weird because didn't Bendis also write this story during their regular continuity?
I think that they're just trying to stay kind of aligned with maybe some of that lore that yeah, eventually Peter Quill does become like he accepts becoming the ruler of Spartax, and he accepts his heritage because but that's all kind of cool too because you could really set up this like um and like interstellar like war, right? Because
Mhm.
Spartax is always it's kind of a hotbed of like war and conflict.
Yeah.
um yeah,
And
so
plus, Spartax has always been one of the big well, whenever they would have the gathering of like space people, the Brood and
yeah.
Kree and Skrulls, that Spartax would always be represented, and it would always be
Hmm.
Quill's dad. And
Yep.
I just can't see Quill being there,
Yep.
honestly, representing an entire race like that.
Yeah, so it's really interesting if you like Guardians of the Galaxy stuff, or specifically Star Lord, and the art's really cool. Like anytime they get a chance to do stuff, because everything has a little bit of a Western twist to it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's the Wastelands. So yeah, and then it's also kind of interesting to see the villains in that world as they kind of took over. they keep rotating like who's in charge because they're villains and they're assholes to each other.
Yeah, they keep taking
You
each
know,
other
so
out.
like they keep taking each other out. So yeah, very interesting. Highly recommend. It's just a fun read, and it's not collected, or you can read it on Marvel Unlimited. All the issues are there because this came out 2019. I didn't realize long ago we had been meaning to read this book.
I mean, I love his stuff, and he's a great follow on Twitter too. He's always tweeting fun stuff. But Ethan Sachs, this may be his world, and he may be running it for a while. Then I like it.
Yeah, for sure.
What else you reading?
Well, let's go back to you.
Okay, I reread Hawkeye. I know we don't want to talk about the TV show, but I just love going through that book again, especially in the middle of Christmas and watching the show and seeing what's in, what's out. I don't know. I just love that book. You know, even with the art changes in that book, which I've been hard on other books, like Grant Morrison's run during X-Men had a lot of art changes that I really come down on that book. That book would be twice as better without.
Yeah, because it starts off with Frank Wiley, right?
Yeah, it starts off with Frank Quietly, and he's doing covers, and then at one point, I think even one of the worst episodes, Ethan Van Schreiber's inking it, and it just from that issue to that issue, you just see such a extreme change of art styles. It's not it just doesn't work. It doesn't work with the story vibe. Yeah. Hey, I'll be right back.
Are you being held hostage? If you need help, let me know. Yeah, go ahead.
No,
all right, well, Clay gets back. I'm just gonna rant a little bit and tell you some of the stuff that's coming up for the channel in the next few days. Whoops. There we go. So we have some stuff coming up. We'll have some comic reviews in this week. If you stay tuned, on Tuesday, hopefully we'll get one of Scott Snyder's new books, Barnstormers from the Comixology Originals is coming out, so I'll be doing a review of that. And then I'll also be doing a review of I just read the new Swamp Thing, Green Hell. We got an advanced copy, so I'll be reviewing that on the channel. So stay tuned for that.
Jeff Lemire?
Yep. Jeff Lemire and Doug Mankey.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I love Doug back on his JLA days.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I want to see Doug and Greg Capullo just arm wrestle.
Hold on. My dog's trying to get away. Digby. Jesus. Shelby just left for work, so now I have to corral the dogs. Digby.
Okay, that's fine. If you need to, I'll fill in the folks on what I'm doing this week.
Let's see here. Oh, what else did I read? Oh, Catwoman, the new Cliff Chang Black Label book. As we both wait a minute. Which cover did you get? Oh,
I got this about. Oh, whoops.
I did not pay that.
Don't worry about that. Yeah, don't worry about that.
I paid cover price.
I wanted that because I definitely love Cliff Chang, but I love Marguerite Sauvage covers, and this one was too good to pass up.
Yeah, I mean, his art style is so clean. His lines are so nice, and it's a great story. Just for the first issue, I was surprised how much I dug it. And that came out the same, or we picked up that the same week we picked up Batman's Jock book.
What
is One Dark Night. And I love Jock, but honestly, I picked up the Catwoman book and read through that first and was so excited. I'm like really drawn into that. I think that's going to be Digby.
And I like that the dogs are. They're not about it. They're not about it today.
No, well, she just left, and so he gets confused. He can't find her, and he's kind of blind, so he's looking around. Diggle. But One Dark Night I haven't read yet, and I saw you had gotten a copy, so I was really. I'm excited to actually. I think this should be a book we should do a show on because
Lonely City. Oh yeah.
Jock and Batman go well together.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's been. And you can go read. You can go check out the review. So if you want to hear my full thoughts on it, but yeah, he's been working on Batman for so long. Like yeah, he's been working in comics too for so long now. Like, dude knows how to write. He has to know how to write a comic by now. Like, it's just it's just something that he's probably learned. So yeah, it's good. It's fun. The premise is kind of cool. It reminds me of a Bruce Willis movie, 16 Blocks.
Very good.
Where you got to get from one place to another, but this is in Gotham and it's Batman instead. So yeah, it's fun from premise.
Yeah. Let's see here. What else did I read this week? Moon Knight 6. I've been praising this book.
Does this complete the arc? Can I finally read it?
It's weird because it doesn't feel. It was just kind of meh. Like the beginning gives you so much background, and as a fan, you always worry like, how is a new person going to read this book? Because I love this book. I want this book to be, and those first books are really great, but this last issue just kind of,
and it introduces such a cool new twist to the mythology too.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just waiting. Like, I normally like to read these like once the arc is done.
Yeah.
Whatever the collection Marvel's gonna put out, that's how I want to read it. Because for the most part, 90% of the time, Marvel knows that these are good. Like, this is it makes the story feel more whole. So yeah.
Yeah, I love the beginning of it. It just, if this is the end or the end of the arc, which typically it is, it just kind of petered out for me. It didn't really excite me, but it excites me in the sense that he was able to put all of the history in the first 3 issues so you can kind of figure out who this character is. It's always hard with a character that has, I mean, if you had to write an X-Men #1, how would you write that? That kind of complex history into a book.
Well, we open with not Kitty Pryde, with Jubilee at the mall.
Classic X-Men.
And then just Sentinels everywhere.
Sentinels. Let's see here. What else?
Yeah, let me show you some stuff that I got. I think it's
that's pretty much all I've read because I've been watching a lot of TV.
All right, well, let me catch up on some reading and then we'll go to TV and movie stuff. But first, I haven't been able to go to Titan, but I did ask Jeremy to send me a bunch of stuff in the mail. So first, I got The Strange Adventures hardcover.
Nice.
So cool. I'm halfway through this book. I'm reading it digitally, because it's all on the Infinite app now. I've read 1 through 6, and we'll talk about it when everybody's read it. But man, I forgot how good it was. Like, because I started reading it from the beginning just to like really get back into it.
It's very dense.
It really is, but man, once things click, I think I tweeted out there's an issue where, because we know that what's his name? Oh geez, Mitch Gerards is drawing the stuff that's happening on Earth, and then Doc Shaner's drawing the stuff that's happening on Rand. But there's an issue where they flip, and I think that's my favorite issue ever of that one so far. Then I also got this because it came out the same week. Which I also need to read. Rorschach. It's a very Tom the King heavy day. And then because I'm an X-Men aficionado, I picked up it's the Hellfire Gala, but it's the Russell Dodderman variant of the cover. So it's got all the outfits, like it wraps around with all the outfits that he designed. This book, and it only collects all the Hellfire related issues.
Okay.
So if you want to, I mean, I love the Gala. I thought it was the X-Men events and the crossovers haven't been like, oh, we're gonna fight it out for the end of the world. They've been more like, it's kind of like a party situation, but let's figure out how to make it interesting and add more story. And there's a really cool, fun reveal at the end of what the X-Men have truly been planning. So yeah, I really enjoy that, and I love Russell Dudman's art. Like when he posted those designs online to tease the event, I was like, oh, this is dope. So yeah, it's all the same covers that you would get connecting, but they put it all in one cover. So fun stuff.
I wasn't a big fan of the Gala, but that looks like a pretty nice book they put together.
Yeah. Marvel's been doing really, and the normal version looks really cool too. I just asked Jeremy, like, look, if you get a variant, just send me that one, because I figured I could probably get the other one later in the future if I want to get it again.
Yeah.
But the one thing I do want to talk about, and I told you I was going to get into this when we talked about the show. I read Nightwing 87 this week. This
Okay.
is the Tom Taylor book with art by Bruno Redondo. And the cool thing about this book is that it's all one continuous shot. And I got some visual aids. Hopefully that'll help. So this is the book I read. It's all one continuous shot. And what that means, Clay, hold on. Did I get a... Here. So I put together this little quick video. So if you were to rip out all the pages and put them side by side, they would make one continuous image.
Oh,
And here,
shit.
and I'll show you. Yeah, I'll show you that right now.
From just one issue, the whole,
For
every page?
the whole issue. Yeah, this is every page laid
Wow.
out, put together. I've seen people online do it. I did it digitally. I bought the issue digitally just so I could take screenshots and edit it all to the video. Yeah,
Has
like this.
anyone ever done this before?
I don't know. That's what I wanted to ask you guys because I've never seen anything like this. So like this is the whole issue of Nightwing 87. And it's that you just see him move from like kind of go through the place from one to the other, through the neighborhood. I don't know. Like I don't know. I've never seen anything like this done in comics. And I don't think
I
there's
haven't
any
either.
other I don't think there's any other media that you could do this in.
You can do one take in film, and there are a bunch of one take shots. There's no
Mhm.
one take film that exists, but I believe the longest one take music video is Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation. Or no. Janet Jackson has a video which is one extreme shot all the way through, but they said there's 4 cuts in it.
Yeah, and I know like 1917 is supposed to mimic that one shot too. That movie with the Sam
Timothy
Mendes, I
Chalamet.
think.
Is it? Yeah, is that a...
Yeah.
Okay.
And then also Birdman is also the same concept where it's supposed to be one continuous shot. But here, even for I don't know for whoever saw the review, hold on, I'll show you some more cool stuff they did because they really leaned into this this neat concept of just doing the one shot thing.
If you've seen Children of Men have one of the best
the car
action.
scene, right?
Yeah, the action scene in that is all one shot.
Which is kind of homage in Hawkeye. So these are 2 covers, and then these are 2 covers. So I because DC sent me all the assets to like for the preview.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, so like if you buy 2, and then now you do have to buy 2 books to put them together, which is a good deal for them. But yeah, and then these are 2 books also that you can put together, and you get the logo.
Is that a new logo for Nightwing?
It's the most recent one. Yeah, this kicked off when Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo took over.
That is kind of awesome.
Yeah, I really like it. It's really neat. I can send you the files because, like I said, DC sends me a bunch of preview stuff, so we could put videos together and all that. And then now you get a little background peek of I use PowerPoint to do the reviews, like an old man.
Old man Daniel.
Old man Daniel. Oh, that's gonna be a really boring book. It's gonna be a lot of sitting around.
What else you been watching, reading?
So reading. I'll kick off a few more things. So I read the Hawkeye item. I read Black Cat, Jed McKay's Black Cat 1 through 10, plus the giant size Infinity Heist. It's a really fun run. I think it's done. I think now it's gonna be like a Black Cat and Mary Jane book that's coming out. But yeah, Black Cat's kind of an underrated character right now at the Marvel, and Jed McKay's just really done. It's fun. Like she's just really a cat burglar. Like she has no alignment, good or evil. She's just kind of out looking for herself.
Yeah, and they've been trying to do a cat or a Black Cat book. Like it seems past couple of years, I would see a number 1 every once in a while. But Jed McKay, like I said, like I love his Moon Knight stuff. Even though I'm kind of harsh on the 6th issue, it sounds fun.
Yeah, no. If you see a book with Jed McKay's name on it, I would recommend you at least check it out. And then the last thing I read, and then we can move on to stuff we've been watching. There was a new book called Infinity Forever. No, Avengers Forever.
Avengers Forever. I got that book.
Forever. Did you get a chance to read it?
Hold on. I have to make an urgent cry for help. Do you have the access to the Scarlet Witch cover? Because our store did not have the Scarlet Witch cover. And if anybody who's listening has it, I would like to buy that from you.
Oh, okay. See. Okay.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Oh, that's interesting. Here, let me share it.
It is amazing. I don't know who did the cover, but all the different versions.
It's Daughterman. It's Russell Daughterman.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's so cool. Oh, I really like this outfit. I hadn't even seen this one. It's like it almost looks like a Jean Grey inspired outfit.
Yeah. We saw that right before we went to the comic book store, and Shelby goes, "I've got to get this cover," and I go, "Well, I'm getting the book anyway, so we'll track it down. It must be a limited one."
Yeah, probably so. We can find out here. I went to eBay to check out how much my cover was worth because the sticker price. So if you're a regular at your shop and the owner loves you like he does me,
Shout out to Aaron. Aaron always gives us great books at Urban Legends.
It's just a regular variant because it's only listed for like the regular cover price.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'll ask Sanctuary see if they have one, if they picked one up. I know variants like these usually just disappear because they're so cool. People think they're gonna be worth something, so they want to maybe sell them online. But yeah, no, this one appears to be a regular cover. You're really kind of paying for the shipping, if anything.
Yeah.
There's also a Black Widow one, a Black Widow variant. That's kind of the same.
Throw it to the screen.
Yeah, hold on. Oh, that one's not on here. That's weird. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I'll put the evil one.
But I absolutely love the Scarlet Witch one. Oh, that's fucking awesome too. Now I want that one.
That's cool. Like, look, I love the old outfit, the original old outfit in the 90s, Jim Lee-ish.
The Jim Lee one. I always remember that from that one.
Oh, I love that cover.
Cap and Wolverine.
Marvel reprinted that issue like with 3D glasses for some reason, and I picked it up because I love that cover. Cool. Yeah, I think that's all the stuff I've read. And then I read some stuff that I can't really talk about till Tuesday, because otherwise DC won't send me books anymore. But I just want to tell you, go pick up that Jeff Lemire book that's coming out next week. You're gonna want it. And yeah, it's fun to see him work with. I mean, like I love seeing him work with Andres Sorrentino, but it's also fun to see Jeff Lemire work with other artists, especially somebody as like established as Doug Mahnke. Yeah, that's it. That's all I've been reading. I'll be reading some more stuff. We'll have reviews for the new Power Rangers book coming out, and then there's a one shot for
Power Rangers Godzilla book.
No, not that one, not yet. Whenever that one comes out, I'll figure out a way to share with so we can all read it.
That's a Kyle book. I want to hear Kyle's impressions.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's called Power Rangers. It's an event that's kicking off. So I read it because even though I'm not current on Power Rangers, it's called Power Rangers Universe #1. Here, I'll show you the cover. And I wanted to read it because first of all, Boom sent it to us, so that's nice of them. But it has all the Red Rangers in the cover, and the Red Ranger is kind of my favorite. I go back and forth between the Green and the Red Ranger, but I think the Red Ranger is my favorite. So I want to see, okay, what's going on? Is this like an event where all the Red Rangers get together? Power Rangers really works in the comics. I don't know, like I like it way better than in the TV show.
Okay.
Like they could just do so much more stuff that the TV show probably it was limited to.
Well, it's limited because it's shot Japanese and having to be re-edited and put into English for a story that we can understand.
Oh no! Oh no! I'm definitely gonna have to buy this because this is the cover for the next issue. So each cover is gonna have one of the Rangers. So this is issue 2. Then issue 3 has the Yellow Ranger. I'm gonna have to get it. Oh well. But all right, Clay, what have you been watching? I see a lot of stuff. So why don't you do like 1 or 2 things, and then I think we have a few things that are the same. So I'll just jump in as we go.
Well, let me knock out my Christmas stuff. Watch Die Hard 1, 2, and 3.
You don't watch 4? You don't throw 4 in there?
Well, I think Shelby got tired of Bruce,
Oh,
so
okay, okay.
so I'll probably finish watching the rest of those
So
today.
you would have kept going.
I would have kept going.
Got it. Because
And
as you know, I love 4.
I know 4, 5, and 6 are a step down from 1, 2, and 3,
Wait,
but they're still Die Hard.
5 is the one in Russia. What's 6?
Oh no, yeah, 4 and 5 then.
Oh, okay. I was like, fuck, did I miss a Die Hard movie?
Well, there is one coming out that's a prequel just called McClane.
Where he's wearing shoes?
Uh,
It
I don't.
it ends with him at the airport before the first one.
Yeah, it leads right up to that. Yeah, and see that, and Shelby tracked down. Boom did a Die Hard comic.
I did not know that.
Okay, so Boom had done a Die Hard comic called Year One, and it's Howard Chaykin doing John McClane in 1976 as a beat officer.
Hmm.
I love Howard Chaykin, but the thing that I noticed in the back of this hardcover is there are 4 jock covers to a Die Hard book that I did not know existed. I need these 4 covers. So that's going to be my quest for next year, is to find this jock art that he did of Bruce Willis in a Die Hard prequel. And he draws Bruce great. I mean, it's a fantastic job. Just gives him a little hair and throws him in a police officer suit. The story isn't great, and I hate being so hard on it, but I don't know. I mean, Die Hard's always been about like this average guy thrown into situations in 1 through 3 that are, out of the ordinary. 4, 5, and 6 are a little extreme, but this one he's just a beat cop, and the story just didn't pull me in.
I see. Oh yeah. Oh my god. Oh my. Hold on.
Are you looking at those? Yeah.
Look at this. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I also need these covers.
And so now this is one of my new quests starting next year.
Here we go. Oh,
there's all the jock covers.
Oh, then who's this one? Is this 2 level? Oh,
Johnson.
Johnson.
Yeah, Dave
Johnson. Oh, I kind of want both. I want both sets.
Yeah, I mean, if I could track these down and get every variant cover, I mean, I love that one right there.
When the hell did this come out?
It came out, God, a while back.
Here, let me check. I don't.
Yeah,
I took it out my screen just because I never know if I'm on safe mode.
Because I remember buying it as an early digital comic.
Ah, okay. I kind of want to read it, but I didn't see it on Comixology. It's probably because of the copyrights.
Well, no, it's a Boom, and I think Boom has their own app, isn't it?
No, Boom stuff should be on Comixology.
It is Boom.
Oh, yeah, it came out in 2009.
Okay, it's not an IDW book or anything.
No.
Well, then it must be a copyright thing, because I know I owned it at one point, and it doesn't show up in my digital collection.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be, because it's not usually like the Conan stuff and the stuff we talked about a couple weeks ago with the Avengers versus Justice League, where the copyrights are weird.
Yeah, so heads up, people who just buy digital books. This could happen to you. You buy a book, and then suddenly there's a copyright problem, and they just yank it from your library.
Yeah. I mean, they definitely tell you in the fine print, like, you're renting this book. You don't own it. You have access to it as long as we can let you have access to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like getting my physical movies, even if Oh man, these look like they're not too expensive, but I'm checking on eBay, but they don't have any that have like the whole lot.
I mean, it's an old book that I don't think is in demand. I think they're printed in prestige format, so they're a little pricier than normal from 2009. But that's going to be my new quest book.
You know what? This would be a fun one to chase at conventions.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
I'll be glad when things get back to normal and you can just start digging through old dirty boxes.
Yeah, look, this is issue 1. So this is Johnson's cover and this is Jacques. Fuck, that's cool. He's never shared these on, like, normally he goes back and reshares some of his work on Instagram.
Yeah.
But I've never seen those.
And I watched one that I don't think many people watch every year, Ernest Saves Christmas, because that is on Disney Plus. Have you watched Ernest Saves Christmas?
I'm not a big fan of the Ernest franchise. I I just yeah, it's not for me. I'll just say that.
Do you, do you like Ted Lasso?
Yes.
Okay. Ted Lasso and Ernest have a lot in common because they are two characters that were commercials. They were characters within a commercial that were so big that they kind of expanded into their own shows. And Ernest may be the most, probably the richest of them all because of all the movies and TV shows. So Ernest Saves Christmas is such an incredibly weird thing that got made. The main thing I want to point out is there is a scene where he's traveling around with this teenage girl. They're trying to save Christmas. I forget how and why, but he makes her dress up in a schoolgirl outfit, and it's very uncomfortable scene. Like that doesn't age well, and it's so weird to watch.
Yeah.
Uh, but Ernest movies made like $25 million in theaters back to back to back. Like,
Oh, damn.
yeah, until like I think the fourth one, and then they started doing video on demand or straight to DVD type films. But yeah, Ernest was a pitch man for Bluebell that got
The ice cream?
yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he was. I can't believe you don't remember. Well, you're a child.
Well,
I was in junior high, man.
oh, okay, yeah.
Your
No, okay.
diehard line. There used to be this commercial where there was this guy Vern, and it was a POV, and and his friend Ernest was always around, and he would be looking through the window. He would pop up at the door, and he would just say, "Hey, Vern," and just blah 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 blah, and just talk incessantly. And somehow they thought, oh well, he's famous enough, let's put him in a movie, and they did. And Ted Lasso was a character on NBC Sports as kind of this fake coach who then they turned into a TV show. So it's weird the ideas that people get, but yeah, Ernest made over $100 million in movies.
Oh, look, I like I said, I'm not a fan of the franchise or anything, but I've How Did This Get Made has done a few episodes of Ernest. So like I'm familiar at least with the premise, and like I said, I just don't think it's for me. So
Oh yeah, I don't know who it's for because it's very odd. All the comedy seems to be written by people who were a lot older, even at the time the movie came out. Like the jokes seem dated, and a lot of the time it's just, well, we'll just put him in a costume and just let him go and act and be weird.
yeah, I think the dude's really talented because he plays. I think at some point he starts playing like multiple Ernest characters or different
Well,
versions.
yeah, I'd heard this story that he was always known for this Ernest character, and no one knew that he had done theater. He was a real actor,
Yeah.
and apparently there is a video or an interview somewhere of someone talking to him about his theater work, and he just breaks into Shakespeare and is able to just recite Shakespeare, but not as Ernest.
Yeah.
And it's incredible. Like, that guy didn't get a lot of credit for being as talented of an actor as he was. He just gets associated with that character, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah, I mean, but look, he made his money, so
Yeah.
hopefully that is enough.
He got to go do the Beverly Hillbillies movie. He played Jed Clampett. But yeah, I just thought that was weird that was still on or that was on Disney Plus. So I thought I'd check it out, and it
Sometimes
doesn't
I'm
stand up,
amazed
and
at
it's really weird.
Yeah, sometimes I'm amazed at the stuff they put on there.
Yeah. Season 2 of How To with John Wilson is on HBO, and it is better than season 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there are two. episodes, specifically the second episode, I don't think I've laughed as hard at anything in a while. That episode, if you need a laugh, How to with John Wilson, episode 2, and the final episode is fantastic. It may be the best episode of the whole run so far. So I think it's only 6 episodes. Check them out. It's worth a great binge. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I remember trying it out. I think when you first brought it up, and I was like, okay, this is something. But again, probably not for me.
Yeah,
But
it's a little odd. This season's a little different, and he does get extremely funny. He gets extremely serious, but it's so damn good.
okay, cool.
Um,
Let's see. Well, I have one thing that is that your Christmas stuff?
well, yeah, I put Hawkeye finale, but we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah. Well, we can. Okay, let's just real quick. Actually, let's save it for after. We can talk about the last episode, and then when Kyle and Josh get back, we'll talk about the whole season.
Okay.
But let's save it for the end so we can do a spoiler alert and
Yeah.
people don't have to stop watching.
I watched because I was really hard on Anthony Mackie's movie last week. I thought I'd try another Anthony Mackie movie. Add Frank Grillo, and it's always great because I love Frank Grillo. This movie, yeah,
Point Blank is?
Yeah, Point Blank is. It's hard to explain, but like, it's very 48 hours. So if you enjoyed 48 hours in that kind of, I don't know, it's like two guys who need each other to help each other. Like one's trying to save his wife and one's trying, one guy's a criminal trying to get to another guy who has information. And so they have to work together, but they hate each other. It doesn't have the same chemistry as 48 hours. Mackie is 10 times better in this. Frank Grillo is always fucking awesome.
He really is. He's so underrated because I don't know. He's kind of stuck in this box of like this gruff dude, but he can be really funny and he could just be really charming and likable too. And we can't oversee that.
I mean, you get him as Crossbones in the MCU. I suggest Wheelman on Wheelman's a great movie on Netflix where he's a driver and the whole night is shot in the car.
Okay.
From the back seat. And so that's pretty awesome. He did a sequel to the worst movie I've ever seen in the theater called Skyline. Have you ever seen Skyline?
Yes.
I paid to see that in a theater is the worst fucking thing I've ever seen.
I think I chose to watch Battle LA that spring or whenever those came out because that was the summer where we got 2 alien movies like that.
And Michelle Rodriguez is in that one, right?
Yeah. And I think I watched it because what's the name of Two-Face?
Aaron Eckhart.
Yeah, Aaron Eckhart is in it too. So,
but man, so I was surprised. I don't even think Skyline made $1 million. Like it was that shitty of a movie. And they did a sequel to it, and Frank Grillo's in it. And I go, okay, that movie was so fucking dumb. I got to see how bad the sequel is. And Frank Grillo makes that movie awesome.
Beyond Skyline?
Beyond Skyline.
Yeah, I've heard of it. Where did I hear from it? I think my buddy has a podcast where they talk about sequel movies, and they talked about this.
Yeah, he's also in The Purge. He's in the Purge series. So
he's great in The Purge.
Yeah, so he's actually that character seems so different from the other stuff he normally does. If you want to check him out doing some different things, and The Purge is just a different kind of film for him to be in. But again, Frank Grillo makes everything better.
He also has that Hulu movie that's kind of like Groundhog Day, but with like.
Oh, I totally forgot about that one. That is so awesome. It's like Free Guy a little bit.
Yeah, I'm looking for it's kind of like a mixture of Boss Level it's called. It's kind of like a mixture of a Free Guy and like Groundhog Day.
Exactly.
Which is an interesting formula. Yeah.
I want to see Free Guy because I feel like Grillo's movie's better.
The only reason I haven't watched Boss Level is because Mel Gibson's in it.
Yeah.
Which is something that I was really excited about, that Intercontinental show for John Wick. And then they said Mel Gibson's going to be in it. I'm like, oh. why is he still in stuff? If he wants to make his own movies, then let him do that, but don't put him in my franchise stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Let's see here. What else? I did watch Free Solo. Last time I was on, I really raved about 2 mountain climbing movies.
yeah, just Chloe's all
Uh,
about the mountain climbing now.
Summit of the Gods was a French anime that I absolutely loved. I didn't know anything about mountain climbing. That was the most incredible entryway into something like sports you don't know anything about.
Yeah,
Uh, it told a story. It explained stuff. It made me want to watch a documentary on it. So Netflix had 14 Peaks about this. Is it Nepalese? How do you say someone
Nepalese,
from
I think so.
Nepalese? He's a mountain climber who wants to set a record
I
for
like that
climbing all these peaks.
you asked a non-native speaker if an English word is correct.
Well, I mean, it's like when you have certain people from certain places, it's hard
No,
to
yeah,
go.
that sounds right. Sure, fuck it. It's Nepalese.
If you're from Oklahoma, what are you?
An Okie.
Okie. Okay. All right.
Oakley
Well.
Dokley.
But so I had heard Free Solo was like the mountain climbing movie to watch.
Well, I think it won an Oscar for when the year came out. I believe for a documentary.
Honestly, the 2 movies I saw were better than Free Solo.
Well, they didn't come out that year, but yeah.
I mean, if I suppose if this is the first one, it's still, even at that, it was good, but the other 2 made such a bigger impact for me.
2019 best documentary.
Yeah, so the 2 movies I love the most were Summit of the Gods and 14 Peaks, both on Netflix. And then I've been recommending it so much, I was like, well, what's the best sports documentary on Netflix? Have you seen The Battered Bastards of Baseball?
I haven't, but that sounds pretty rad.
If you are not a sports person, you will still love this movie because this isn't really about baseball more than the independent spirit. In the 70s, there was a guy named Bing Russell who wanted to start a baseball club. He wanted to play or own a team. And at the time, the way baseball was being structured is you didn't have these small town teams like, these are the guys. These are the Portland Mavericks. And the guy in the middle is the manager. And if you watched Major League and you saw a bunch of rough and tumble guys, this is the real version of those fucking guys. That's what's so great is you go into the dugout and they're drinking beers and goofing off. They had open tryouts for this team. The guy who did it, Bing Russell, was a Hollywood actor. He was on Bonanza for 7 years. And they joke about like how many times he had died on screen. He'd been a bad guy, stuntman, done all this stuff. But he actually loved baseball enough that he shot these films with his son. His son's name is Kurt Russell. You may know him as Snake Plissken or Ego.
I was wondering why Kurt Russell came up when I searched the film.
Yeah, so when you search this film, Kurt Russell is Bing Russell's son. So Bing started shooting these videos of like training for baseball. And Kurt Russell is the player that's there, and he's just a kid at the time. And they said that nobody was doing videos like these, that even major league teams were showing them to their players who didn't understand basic fundamentals of baseball. So it's a story about this guy who comes into a league. He wants to buy a team, and he puts it together with open tryouts. Each player makes $500 a game, and And it's great because it makes you love sports again. Sports now, to me, is just a money game. And watching these guys play and goof around and have a good time, or guys who drove across country just to try out. He's like, yeah, like I came all the way from New York on my bike just to get a chance. And they put this team together, and you won't ever see anything like this again. Like it's the big, and they were the only independent team at the time. Everyone was a farm team. So this is how farm teams work in baseball. If you're the Texas Ranger, you have a AAA, a AA, and a single A. If you have players that are doing good, and they play all around the country. So let's say Texas Rangers have a farm team in Midland, Texas. and you live in Midland and there are no professional sports around you. So you love the local baseball team. If you have a player that does well, he may not be there next week because he'll get pulled up to the majors. So your team is constantly in rotation. So it's hard to kind of root for a team when it's different players every week. And so he kind of made the point of like, I just want to bring in guys that love to play the game. I want to play all these other teams and kick ass. And you meet the weirdest people playing positions you didn't think of, like a left-handed catcher. You don't think about the how a person catches with a left hand, throws with a right hand with a batter in the way. And this guy is the only left-handed catcher or only left-handed or right-handed catcher that's ever been in the major leagues. And he talks about going, my glove should be in the Hall of Fame, not me, just the glove, because it's the only one.
Because it had to be designed specially for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I found this picture. It has nothing to do with anything other than the fact that I forget that Wyatt Russell and Kurt Russell are related.
Yes. Yes.
And they both
Ego's the father of
that's right. Ego and John Walker.
John Walker, US agent.
Fucking wild. I love it. I do see. I think it's really the fact that they shaved them that makes them kind of look a little bit like, I don't like you, Wyatt Russell. I don't like you.
I like Wyatt Russell. He did a show on AMC where he played a stoner named Dudley, and it was so cool. That's the show that kind of pulled me into Wyatt Russell and his acting.
Was it The Killing? No,
The Lodge.
The Lodge. Okay, I'm thinking of something else then. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Cool. Yeah, those sound cool. I don't watch as many documentaries because I don't know. Like
most of them are downers.
Yeah, that's probably what that's what a documentary is doing right now. That like it has to be kind of a downer.
It's unfortunately true crime, because
we're discovering so much like untold history, and we are learning that history's been kind of fucked up, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of a downer. But I'll interject with something I watched on Netflix. That's also a big bummer, and I don't recommend it to watch it now. I watched Don't Look Up.
We were going to last night. Tell me why.
It's the Adam Mckay movie with Leo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Timothée Chalamet, all these people. It's a fucking bummer, dude. It's such a bummer because it tries to be satire, but we're not far removed from anything that is trying to satirize that. It just makes it a bummer. I don't know why it came out on a holiday weekend. Like, I know they need to do it probably for Oscar consideration and stuff or whatever. The movies, I like Adam McKay movies. I think
The Big Short, though, is he explains everything well, but it's all after the fact, and you realize, oh, we're just kind of fucked financially.
Yeah. The Big Short, Vice. Like, I think he makes movies that kind of distill all the information for the masses in a way that it's more easily consumable.
Right.
This one doesn't do that because it's not really distilling anything. It's just holding up a mirror, or it's trying to hold up a mirror. But even then, like, I think the real world is more bleak. But it's already a pretty bleak image. So I think the performances are great. I love DiCaprio's great. Jennifer Lawrence. I really like Timothée Chalamet's character in this. Glenn Close as the president. But then you also have yes, he's really good too. He's just he's such an ass. But you have Glenn Close as the one president, and then you make somebody that's kind of incompetent. I'm like, well, why don't you just have a guy president for that? Like, I understand you want to get Glenn Close in your movie, but yeah, and it I didn't really laugh at all. Like, I understand what they were going for. It's just maybe not. It feels like it's just kind of like not the right time to make all these points. I saw a tweet that said, "Don't Look Up." It's like being stuck in an elevator with a rich man, and he's showing you his most woke tweets.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
So, like I said, you could eventually watch it. I just don't think it's something you want to watch right now at the moment. It's just.
I was hoping it was going to be funny, but yeah, just from the funny of the stupidity of way people try to tackle public problems.
So what I was thinking the whole time watching this movie, I was like, Idiocracy did this better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was because it's not extreme. It's not like extreme enough. They didn't go like so far into the satire that it's weird. Like it just feels like it's not even satire. It's just like, oh yeah, this is what's going on, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh no, but but yeah, I've already seen it on a bunch of lists of like best movies of. It just didn't jive with me. I wasn't entertained. That's the main thing. I was just kind of bummed out and not entertained. But I've heard people that they really like the movie. So it'll it'll depend on how that goes for you.
Yeah. Shit. Now I may not.
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to take the wind of yourselves because that was one of the reasons, and we can talk about that later. One of the reasons I hadn't watched the Matrix Resurrections is because everybody was shitting on it, and I'm like, I don't want to go. I love the Matrix franchise. Don't do this to me.
I will rewatch it. I did enjoy the Resurrections, but I just remember watching those movies, and it was so different from the first one. There was no thought to it. It just seems like it was just a bunch of violence to have violence.
On this one,
No,
oh
the sequels, the
the
sequels.
sequels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people have been. I've seen online. So I'm planning to do a rewatch because I want to rewatch Resurrections. I don't know. We can move on. I'm done with look up.
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
if
I
you
did
want
want
to
to.
talk about Matrix next,
No, I did want to talk to you about Adam Mckay because did you hear about? He finally explained why him and Will Ferrell aren't making movies.
I I saw something about having to do with that Lakers show that's coming to HBO Max.
Yeah,
Um,
they were doing a Lakers show that they were going to have Jerry Buss and kind of the beginning of Showtime Lakers,
mm,
and Will Ferrell really wanted to play Jerry. The Is he the owner, the GM?
I think
Uh,
yeah.
at the time, and Adam was working on the film and didn't cast him as that, and actually went with, oh my god, who's his co-star in Step Brothers?
Oh yeah. Um, Walk Hard.
Yes. I can't think of his
Walk
name.
Hard.
Anyhow, he didn't tell him that he wasn't casting him. He just he cast the other guy,
John C. Riley.
John C. Riley. Yeah, and there's a trailer, so if you want to pull up the trailer and watch it, because it's very 70s, very interesting. It looks like it takes place the year that they draft Magic Johnson.
It almost feels like what was it? What was the
Pro
movie that Will
semi
Ferrell? Yeah, Semi Pro.
pro. Yeah.
Like that movie was probably partly inspired by some of this stuff. So I can see why Will Ferrell would want another shot at maybe something more serious with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's done. It's almost like the trailer looks like Boogie Nights in the way it has the music and the tone of what's
We
going
can
on
watch
in
it
the
at the end of the
70s.
show. I haven't
Okay,
seen it.
cool.
We can watch it at the end of the show.
Yeah, I'm curious to get your take, and also to look at it and go, you could have had Will Ferrell play this role, but John C. Riley is so. I mean, he can play any role.
He's really good. He's both really great at comedic and dramatic performances. So
Yeah,
I get it, and I think Will Ferrell's really good too. And I know he's doing more stuff that's more dramatic too. So
yeah, his dramatic roles are
uh,
great, but man, if you're in a situation where your best friend's casting and he has to go with another guy, you have to just kind of go.
it's like two of your friends just well, I don't know if they're all friends, but they appear to be friends because they collaborate a lot.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
I mean,
just
they had a production company together
right,
that now isn't going to be making anything. So,
yeah. Oh, that sucks for the people that work there.
yeah. What
Oof.
else?
But Matrix,
Matrix, yes. What'd you think?
I really like this movie. I really enjoyed it. I like all the stuff there. I like the approach to it, where it's like super meta. Um, and it doesn't. I feel like everybody's holding it up against the first one because the first one brings all these really cool ideas and stuff, but we've had 30 years to digest that stuff, right? Or maybe 20 years, whatever.
We hadn't seen bullet time. We hadn't seen special
Right.
effects
Well,
until
and
the Matrix.
even just the ideas of like the simulation and identity and all that stuff that they kind of poke fun at during those pitch meetings. Um, uh, you know, like I like that. I like that. It's kind of like the creator gets back to go back and re-examine their work. So I thought that was cool. I think as much as I love seeing Keanu and Carrie Ann Moss back on the screen, Jessica Henwick just fucking stole this movie.
Yes, I love her.
Yeah, me
Iron
too.
Fist.
But
Iron Fist.
I tweeted afterwards, like after this movie, either she needs to get back in the MCU, or somebody needs to snatch her up and give her own action franchise.
Oh,
Uh,
yes.
because yeah, like she was great. I want. I was thinking like, what else would I want to see? Because obviously, if this movie tells anything, is Warner Brothers knows that The Matrix is a big property that they can squeeze out for all their money. So I either want to see, and this is maybe like a little tiny spoiler. I want to see Bugs' trip from that window sill,
Yeah.
from that window job to like where we meet her in the film. Like, show me that period of time.
Yeah.
Um,
They were big fans of comics, so I could easily see a bunch of comics coming out of this to tell stories.
if only Warner Brothers had its own comic company that they could put out stuff through.
I
Uh,
don't even think those Matrix books were DC books either.
that's weird. But yeah, I would love to see a comic series of like Matrix, and they presented so many. I did like there's some of the newer concepts like the friendly robots, I would call them.
Yeah.
That's such a cool thing. Like, yeah, it would make sense that eventually they would evolve enough to like, oh,
Work together.
right. So yeah, I really liked it. I think the action was cool. I like the way they reintroduced some of the characters. Like now that we know that the full story of how Yaya became to be who he's supposed to be in the movie, and then just seeing Keanu Reeves and Carrie Ann Moss on the screen together, like
Who look like they haven't aged.
they look like they have. I don't know. I don't know if they keep up together with each other, but I was looking at I was reading an interview or watching a video of why we kind of didn't see Carrie Ann Moss do a lot of things, and it's because she had a family and she had kids, and now she just wanted to be with her family. Like
Oh, okay.
she only wanted that's it. It had nothing. There was no like big thing or anything. She just wanted to spend time with her family, so she stopped making movies. Luckily, we got hopefully that's one character I would love to see back in the MCU as well. Um, Jerry, is that her name?
Oh, Jerry Hogarth.
Jerry Hogarth. Yeah,
Yeah. She was so good in that role because Jerry Hogarth in the comics was kind of a, I don't know, he it was a guy in the comics with
yeah.
a Power Man and Iron Fist and almost comedic, not really. She was so serious and had such a dark edge to her. It was nice seeing Carrie Ann just go really creepy.
She played really well with Jessica Jones. I think that
Yeah.
when you pair them together, she had a little bit of a tougher time dealing with Iron Fist stuff.
You know what it was is Jessica's a powerful character because she doesn't give a fuck. She has no fucks to give,
Mm-hmm.
and then she's talking with someone who has power,
Yeah,
and that those sequences of them talking to each other and almost battling with words were probably the best parts or the best scenes for me that didn't have David Tennant in it.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I definitely agree. Yeah, so she was great. I just really like the movie, and like I said, I want to rewatch everything else and then watch this movie again because they show so much stuff. I still need to find the screenshot. There's a screenshot where there's a Batman action figure in one of the offices, um, uh, specifically Mr. Anderson's office with all the collectibles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did-
so
what did you think of Mr. Smith's replacement?
I think he was great. I think like it's big shoes to fill for sure.
That was what I was thinking. Is that is the toughest part, and he was pretty good.
He made it his own thing. Like
Yeah.
and it makes sense because like all these programs are evolving, and then there's some really cool cameos from the previous from even from the sequels, some really cool cameos that are really interesting. But yeah, no, I thought the dude was great, and I like that duality of them too, as Smith and Neo. Like they, I don't know, they're really well written to like play off against each other. It's almost as if as much as Trinity completes Neo, on the other side, Smith completes Neo as well on a different level. So yeah, I really like the, and then like I said, I think the actor did a great job, kind of like this, like remembering stuff, that scene where he's trying to like everything's kind of coming back and stuff. Yeah,
Uh, what about the Morpheus replacement?
I like them a lot too. Like I said, I really like the way they wrote it into the movie.
Yeah, that those are again hard shoes to fill.
For sure, for sure. But Yaya's great. I mean, if we've seen anything in the past few years with Watchmen and fuck, what was the other thing he did?
Um,
Oh, Black Manta, like,
oh
and
yeah,
then just
yeah,
the other stuff that he's been doing. Like, I think Yaya's a great actor, and again, Lawrence Fishburne, big shoes to fill. But I think he made it his own. That's what you need to do when you're replacing something like that. You need to make it your own and different, as opposed to. I really like the dichotomy of like with Morpheus in the original movies. He was always wearing the dark suits and the leather stuff.
and
In
so
this one,
serious.
yeah. In this one, it's like all these really loud outfits. Even in the we saw in the trailer the kung fu scene where they're fighting. In the original scene, he's just wearing a regular gi, or in the original movie, and then in here he's wearing like this like robe kimono type of thing. I thought he was gonna take it off, but he just starts fighting with it. He's going with it,
Yeah,
and
I
it
did
looks
too.
cool.
I thought it looked like something that would hinder him. But then
Yeah,
also when he brings him back to the White Room, he
yeah,
jokes and laughs like he is the opposite of
yeah.
Morpheus in his seriousness.
One of the things that I found maybe to be a little distracting was how much they showed from the original movie, like actual footage spliced in there. It
Yeah,
was interesting the way they chose to show it, but I understand that they did that because they expect the new audience to not go back and watch three films.
yeah,
And I would say you don't need to watch any other movies to watch this. I would recommend at least watching the first one
yeah.
to watch this and maybe get more out of it.
Yeah, because I don't, but the only thing you get out of the sequels is it n-
It's the
I,
cameos and stuff
I was thinking of
mainly.
how do you say her name? Niobe?
Nairobi, yeah,
Niobe.
Captain Nairobi,
Yeah,
Nairobi.
yeah. So you understand who she is in this movie,
Yeah,
which it it was a good way to tie it, show the age gap, things that have happened and everything.
hmm
I've seen too much Jada Pinkett Smith. I mean, she's just everywhere on TV talking about her
Fish Mooney,
family.
baby.
Yeah, I mean, I love Fish Mooney, but man, she's just fucking on everything. And
Is
sometimes
she?
I feel
What?
like I see her
I don't know
all
what
the
you're watching. Are you just
she's
maybe
always on.
subscribed?
She seems to be on. She's on Facebook Live talking about her family and her kids
Oh,
and
that
her
that
husband
cable
and all
that show
that.
they have. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that why would you air your dirty laundry about your husband and he's not
Uh,
there? And then Will Smith's
Poor Will.
upset and
Yeah,
like I just like I liked her back in the day when she played some hard characters. I don't really kind of give a shit anymore.
yeah. No, it was definitely nice to see her. I need to also watch the Animatrix to see if they pulled any stuff from there. I haven't watched like any video breaking down like all the Easter eggs and stuff.
I haven't
But
either.
the Animatrix, like I always thought that was super cool.
The
So I
Animatrix
need
is
to.
the second best Matrix movie.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Just really cool anthology stories.
Now we're
So
leaving out one guy I want to talk about for a minute.
oh sure.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh fuck yeah, yeah.
What'd you think?
No, he's great. His role, which I didn't know what he was supposed to be until like they kind of
Yeah.
go into it. It was a fun surprise. And Neil Patrick Harris, he's so charismatic, and the more he kind of devolves into this thing that he is, like the more he kind of drops the charade of what's going on, it seems super intense. So yeah, it's definitely a nice change in
He
pace.
he is a fun bad guy, and I'm
Yeah.
going to throw out a weird casting because I saw it in this film. I would love to see him join the MCU as Arcade in the X-Men.
Oh my god, dude! Yes,
Arcade.
yes.
Because he just has that he can turn it on and off, bring it up and down. Oh, I love it.
What about if not Arcade, Mr. Sinister?
Oh shit. I knew that was a good one too.
Okay, good. I
That
mean,
shit, they're
they're
both
very
good.
similar characters. It's just the Mr. Sinister has a more physically imposing figure,
Yeah.
but they're very similar characters. They recently did in Hellions. They kind of worked together for a little bit, Arcade and Sinister, It's the most fucked up thing. You should go read Hellions if you haven't.
Sinister has probably the best dialogue of the past 5 years than he's ever had.
Yes, yeah. Seb Wells fucking killed it with the Hellions book. It's probably one of my favorite. Yeah, one of my top X-Men books that I'm reading. I should rank the X-Men books for 2021 because there's so many of them.
No shit. It's like a library.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I'm so glad. I'm really glad at the Matrix. So I'll definitely watch it again before they take it off of HBO. And I hope they give me a really nice collection. If they're not gonna make any more movies, just give me a really nice collection with all the movies, including the Animatrix.
And I'm just going to do 2 quick action films I saw that I loved, which was The Harder They Fall and Kate.
Oh,
because we did a preview of Harder They Fall and hyped it up, and I finally got a chance to sit down and watch the whole thing. Fucking awesome.
Right? It's like whatever this neo-Western movement that's happening is, I'm super on board.
Bass Reeves. I want a Bass Reeves movie. Come on.
Give me
Not the Lone Ranger. The Bass Reeves real character.
I want the Bass Reeves extended universe. Just all movies where he's the threading, because it feels like he did so much that he's kind of like he can kind of jump in and out of all these stories.
Yeah, I want someone to do a real documentary on Bass Reeves, who the guy was, so that people know what the Lone Ranger is and what he really was, and how he's just kind of whitewashed into this character. But his history is badass too, because he was this big motherfucker. He was like 6'3", 6'5", and he would go around as like a bounty hunter, picking up people.
And I mean, Delroy Lindo, just perfect casting for it, really.
Like I said, when I heard he was going to be Dominic Fortune in the MCU, I lost my fucking mind, because I thought, this is perfect casting. I'd love to see some old school stories with him in it, and then we lost him.
Yeah. But yeah, that's good. And then what about Kate?
Not to compare the two, Harder They Fall is awesome, has more action, and incredible performances. Kate relies a lot on her carrying the entire movie.
No, it's definitely all of Mary Elizabeth Winstead's
and that's why the next Die Hard movie should be her as McClane, because she did great action in this. I loved all the action sequences.
She's already there. She's already part of my favorite movie.
Dude, I mean, Kate was fantastic. I would watch it again. Again, we see, is Woody Harrelson becoming the go-to bad guy?
Yes.
He is in every War on Planet of the Apes is my favorite bad version of Woody Harrelson.
Oh, yeah.
But then seeing him in Kate, seeing him in what did
you say you guys recently watched Carnage?
And then as Carnage, like, he dominates that role as Carnage. His dialogue delivery is so good.
I almost want to see if there's a R-rated version of Carnage floating out there from that movie.
There has to be. There has to be. Carnage hated dudes. I mean, there was a beheading in a PG movie. Was that PG?
Yeah, it was PG-13 for sure. We can have a whole conversation about PG-13 and how that kind of maybe ruins some movies, and because you want to get the extra money.
Venom is not a PG-13 character.
It shouldn't be. No, I don't think so either. But I'm glad you like Kate. I'm trying to find on my Letterboxd what I rated Kate.
I need to get back to doing my Letterboxd.
I need to too, and I think we should, because we definitely want to have a 2021 best stuff. And I need to update that stuff, because I was pretty good about it at the beginning of the year, and then as we started getting busier and busier, I didn't do as much, but yeah, let me see what tell me what else you thought about Kate while I look up my review.
Just the action, the shot, the style, the color, everything on screen looks incredible. She's so good. Like I hate that I watch it with a Die Hard angle, going, I want her to be Lucy McClane in the next Die Hard movie, saving her dad, saving her brother, doing it a la oh my God, what is that fucking movie? Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah,
like I want that movie to be her being the supporting character who is really who the story is about, while Bruce or John McClane and John Jr. are running around trying to do action like Kurt Russell was and not really great at it.
mm,
Like I think that's the angle of that story because you have to shift. John McClane can't keep wandering into all these things. I think it's time for his daughter to save them
yeah.
and see a kick-ass action film. She's awesome. I don't know who I'd put as the director. Okay, wait a minute. Now I do. Lexi Alexander,
Yes, yes.
who directed Punisher
Punisher Warzone.
Warzone. So if you love some badass action and violence, Punisher Warzone is the best.
I going back, I really like re-examining that movie. Like, I really liked it. Like, it's just it's kind of campy but violent. Like, I don't know. It really feels very different from the other Punisher films. And I like John Bernthal's Punisher, but I think is it Ray Stevens?
Ray, I thought it's not Stevens. I thought it was something else.
Well, that dude is like he's so big and imposing. He plays one of the Warriors 3. Um,
Ray Stevenson. You're right.
Ray Stevenson. Yeah,
He's a big dude too.
yeah, yeah. He's a big dude. So
Because he
very
plays
imposing.
he's in the MCU as one of the Warriors 3, the biggest one.
Yeah. But okay, I found my review of Kate. Yeah, I think I gave it 3 stars. Yeah, that seems pretty fair. The action was really good. All the aesthetics, like the movie looks super cool. Uh, it's just fun. I really like the premise of it. Like, uh, it feels kind of like, what was it, Crash with not Crash.
I was gonna say
Shit, the
Crash had
Jason
a
Statham movie,
oh
Crank.
Crank, yeah.
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 Uh,
Shelby's never seen the Transporter movies, so we're gonna watch those.
oh, fun! Hell yeah. Um, yeah. So I was a big fan. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll watch it again. I hope they do like um I just want to see her do more action films.
Yeah, me too. I want to
And
see. Hopefully, she gets to come back as Huntress. I really also like that.
yeah.
She's also really physically like imposing. Like I didn't realize how tall she was until I saw this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really liked her. I like the way she dressed up after the bowling alley, with the jacket. So very cool. Um, I have 2 more things. So last night, my buddy Rob, who said hi earlier on his channel, we talked about subverting safe spaces in movies, which means
Uh
like all these horror Christmas movies and things like that. So I watched Black Christmas 1974. I had never seen it. Uh, yeah, it's really good. I mean, it's kind of like one of the first slashers, and
mm-hmm.
uh, I I didn't know Margot Kidder was in that, so that was a fun surprise.
Did you
Uh,
know who made that movie?
so I looked up, and it was the same director that did A Christmas Story, which fucking blew my mind.
Bob Clark, yeah.
Yeah, I watched the video afterwards, like explaining, like making sure I didn't miss anything, and I want to know more about Billy and the killer. But it's really interesting that this was made at a time because of I've only seen more like contemporary horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was expecting like maybe some gore or some like sex act scenes or whatever, but it's kind of the opposite of all that stuff. Like none of the kills are super gory or anything like that. They were able to Bob Clark was able to do really tension heavy scenes without any of that stuff. There's a scene where I think she's like the house mom of the sorority house goes into the attic and Billy throws the hook. Spoilers, I guess, for 1974's Black Christmas. And the hook that you never see the hook hit her, and then you just see her get pulled up into the attic, and
Mm-hmm.
that's all you need, right? That like that cut. And if they made that movie now, which I know they made 2 remakes, but I haven't seen them. I don't think they're any good.
Yeah.
Um, from what I saw on Rotten Tomatoes, like you would have seen the hook go like into her face and then like crank her up to the attic, right? Um,
Well, it's also it's more of a character study because it's very much like Joker.
yeah,
I always felt that the Joker had the vibe from that movie. more than any other. Well, that and
Yeah, Raging Bull and stuff like that.
Rupert
Taxi Driver.
Pumpkin.
Yeah, yeah, King of Comedy. And then the other thing, like I said, a lot of the horror, especially starting in the '80s, they focused on like, the teenagers that are having sex are the ones that are gonna die first. And this one, they don't do any of that. Instead, our main character is pregnant and she wants to have an abortion, and they addressed that in the film. And I was like, this was a movie from 1974. Holy shit! But then I also found out that this was a movie made in Canada. So it's a little bit different.
Canadian horror is a little different.
Yeah, because at the same time in America, we were doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh yeah.
So it's interesting to see the mood, like contemporary movies, how different they can be. And then also, like I said, the fact that Bob Clark did A Christmas Story, fucking messed up my head like for a while because I was like, first of all, I'm not a fan of Christmas Story. I think it's because of the oversaturation of it during Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Where I'm like, I don't ever need to see that pink bunny ever again. Although I did see people sharing pictures of their kids in the pink bunny outfit. I'm like, okay, that's funny. Pretty meta because because he hated being dressed up as a bunny. So I don't know how your kids feel about being dressed up as a bunny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. And then I also watched a movie called Deadly Games, aka Dial Code Santa Claus.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a French film. Its biggest claim to fame, from what I found, was that it was in a lawsuit with the Home Alone movie because they were claiming that Home Alone is a ripoff of their movie. And after watching the movie, I definitely get it. Like it's a very similar concept where the kid's home in his mansion by himself, and then this Santa Claus, that's why my name is Père Noël, because that's what they call Santa Claus in France. This deranged dude dressed as Santa Claus goes into the house and wants to kill him and his grandpa, and the kid's got all these traps and technology to kind of like stop him. So it's a very similar concept to Home Alone, so I can see the similarities. But the movie was really cool. I watched it with some friends on a Discord server. And yeah, like the kid starts off being kind of like this bratty kid, and he's kind of an ass. His mom is this rich CEO of like a toy company, but as soon as stuff starts happening, you feel for the kid because it's still a child, and his grandpa who's like a diabetic man who can't really see, and then they both have to escape from this lunatic man. So yeah, it was really good. All the little traps and stuff that he does, like because it's the early, I think it's 89. He's got like this technology that seems really far advanced for the time. But I can see how rich people would have access to some of that stuff. Like he's got this wrist thing that he controls his whole house from or something. He can see cameras, and I'm like, there's no way. And the way he meets the Santa Claus is through like Minitel or something, which was an early version of the internet. It's fucking insane, dude. But it's great. It's a French film, but don't let the French deter you. After I watched it, I saw that it was also playing at the Alamo like the next day.
Oh,
So I'm guessing it's something they bring back every Christmas season. So yeah, both of those movies I wanted to watch because they subvert the fact that Christmas is supposed to be a safe space or a safe place. So setting movies in Christmas, which Black Christmas was the first time they would set up a horror movie in a holiday. And I think from what I was seeing in a video, there was an interview with John Carpenter who talked to Bob Clark about what he would do in a sequel, and that kind of helped him get inspired to do Halloween.
Oh wow!
So yeah, very cool, very interesting,
very cool. Yeah, see, I love Rare Exports. That's my Halloween Christmas movie.
Is Rare Exports?
Yeah,
I don't think I've seen.
I believe it's Swedish, but it's about capturing Santa.
Okay. That sounds fun.
From 2010, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I found it. Huh.
It's Finnish.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see it.
Yeah, do you want to read the tagline?
The tagline.
Or just the description?
The synopsis? Yeah, hold on. A young boy named Petteri and his friend Juuso think a secret mountain drilling project near their home in northern Finland has uncovered the tomb of Santa Claus. That's cool. However, this is a monstrous, evil Santa, much unlike the cheery Saint Nick of legend. When Petari's father captures a feral old man in his wolf trap, the man may hold the key to why reindeer are being slaughtered and children are disappearing. What the fuck?
Hey, Clay brings the weird. So if
Whoa.
you want to enjoy a little post
Oh,
Christmas
this is on
horror,
Tubi.
oh, it's on Tubi. Yeah,
It's according to
totally.
this.
I
Yeah, check it out.
recommend it. It's fun.
Cool. Yeah, I might check it out. I like doing stuff. I wanted to rewatch. I want to rewatch Krampus because
Oh,
they recently released the naughty cut, which is like the unrated version of the movie.
yeah,
Um, but it's like, but you can only get the Blu-ray like from whoever put it out. It's like one of those
like
not
Shout
Arrow.
Factory or
Yeah,
Arrow
yeah, it's
or
like one of those that it's very niche, so you can't really
limited.
find it on streaming. So
Um,
I didn't rewatch it, but I like Krampus. I think it's a fun alternate take on what could be a Halloween or a Halloween, a Christmas story. And Krampus it's got a bunch of like sequels and spin-offs and prequels and stuff.
yeah,
Um,
I don't think they're any good. There is a channel I watch on YouTube that does horror movie timelines,
mhm.
and he did one that really the original Krampus is the best.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I mean, Adam Scott, you can't really go wrong. And then Tony Collette,
Tony Collette, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
She to me horror queen. She is a horror
yeah.
queen right now.
And then also, what's his name? Whammy from the Anchorman movies, David something.
Oh shit, David
Yeah,
Fincher?
you know what I'm talking
No,
about.
no, not David Fincher. David
Todd Packer. It's Todd
Todd
Packer.
Packer. Yes.
Todd Packer.
Fuck.
I should know his name. The office ladies talk about him all the time. David Koechner.
Yes.
David Koechner. I knew it would come to me. I just needed to talk. I just needed to talk out enough words to get
It.
the right ones out.
Did you know David Koechner was in that weird season of SNL that was like, I think it had Robert Downey Jr., Michael
Yeah,
Anthony.
I've seen him. I've seen him in some clips or something.
Yeah, he's
When
funny as hell, and he only
yeah,
lasted like a year or two there.
yeah, that's so weird. But I mean, he ended up having a really good career otherwise. So
That dude
I get
kills in everything. When he shows up and stuff, he's awesome.
yeah, yeah. But that's about. Oh, one last thing I watched, and this one, your mileage may vary. That movie Antlers with Kerry Russell, um, produced by Guillermo del Toro, about like this. I don't know. It's like a horror movie about a thing killing people in the woods. It's in a small town. You don't remember that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it came out like in October or something.
And Kerry
Uh,
Russell's in it.
mhm. That's the main reason I wanted to watch it. Here, I'm sure once you see the cover, uh, you'll know what movie. Uh, but it was. I mean, first of all, the movie's fucking bonkers. Um, but let me see if that. I don't know if that.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
I
weird.
dig that. I dig that poster.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it comes to mind, but yeah, it was weird. It was a little slow paced, and I don't know, the reveals kind of weird, but overall, like the movie had a really just fucking all over the place feeling. I don't know. It was. I felt like it was like, is this supposed to be like one of those new Christmas movies now with the Antlers title? But the reveal goes in a very different direction than I thought originally. So
Okay. Where'd you see that?
I just got it on demand. It's on
Oh,
VOD now. But
okay.
like I said, I've been wanting to watch that since it came out. I didn't get a chance to go to the theater, and I had a credit from something. I'm like, might as well use it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be on some streaming service soon. Um, all right, that's all I have. That's all I've been doing. I got to watch a lot of those movies were all watched on the same day because I finally had a day off of work.
Yeah.
So,
The only thing I have left is Joe Bob did his Christmas special on Shutter,
oh, okay.
and he just does whatever he wants. This was a weird one because Joe Bob hosts the show with his the male girl Darcy, and so they picked movies for each other. And Joe Bob knows how much Darcy loves Clint Howard, so we watched Ice Cream Man, a horror movie that is just really weird and disturbing. But
Yeah.
it's so fun. It's just one of to me, this is one of those fun horror movies. And then Darcy picked one of the classic white trash films, Gator Bait. I can't remember what year Gator Bait came out, but it is revenge movie, like I Spit on Your Grave type film that takes place out in Louisiana. And I had never seen anything like it. And it is weird as hell. I'd say it's Deliverance meets I Spit on Your Grave.
Okay.
But not as harsh. So it's weird watching these old white trash films, but I definitely think it's worth checking out if you've never seen one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I go back and forth because I don't have Shudder all the time. We put it in and out. Like we'll get it every once in a while to catch up on mainly some of the originals because Shudder's got some really good original stuff.
Yeah.
I was watching that documentary about each of the like film characters. What's it called?
The Making of the Monsters.
Making of the Monsters.
Those are great. There are a ton of great documentaries on Shudder. There's like there's two that are over 3 hours about Jason and Freddy that are incredible. But those Making of the Monsters are perfect bite-size episodes.
Oh yeah, no, I like those. I like those a lot, and they bring in some interesting people. I think they brought in some people from Fangoria, which is, I want to say they're from here, right? They're a local magazine.
Yeah, it's a local magazine.
So it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I think that's all we have. Let's talk a little Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
Talk a little Hawkeye.
How did you feel about the ending?
Hold on, here's spoiler alert. If you haven't seen any of Hawkeye, get out of here. Get out of here. We don't want you anymore.
No, not here, bro. Go.
Well, like I want to say this. I think the last episode was a mess, like all over the place. But I really enjoyed it. It was just kind of a mess. Like it felt like it was really weirdly kind of put together. Like they really wanted to. I don't know if maybe they had more episodes planned or something changed so they could bring in Fisk, or I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
But I really enjoyed it. I think it also feels like with maybe that's why they did an Echo spin-off show that they hadn't announced, because they're like, oh, we got a bunch of story to tell here.
And she was good. That was her first role.
Yeah, she was great. Seeing Vincent D'Onofrio, also great.
So good.
I love the Hawaiian shirt from the comic, the Family Business comic. And yeah, it does raise a lot of questions as to, like, I know Wilson Fisk can take a lot of punishment, but the dude was blown up, hit by a car, and all this other shit.
Shot point blank, and he'll live.
Yeah, like even with the arrow thing, that's all right. I mean, that could be explained away by him wearing the Kevlar clothes or whatever, like he did on the Netflix shows.
Yeah.
But like, dude gets hit by a car put through a window of a toy store, and then he gets blown up with like the Danger's arrow. Man, so I don't know. Like, does he have a little super soldier serum somewhere?
Maybe he has some Stark technology. The way, well, I wouldn't say it wasn't Stark technology, but the backbone that they put in Bullseye.
Oh, or like some of the extremists. Stuff.
That. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get into other arenas, but yeah. I feel like that the technology that's in this universe is better. Like, I haven't seen the new Spider-Man, so I don't want to talk about it, but it obviously looks like Doc Ock upgrades all his mech. Every bad guy in there has better mech than they had in their first film. Mm-hmm. And apparently they can even now grow hair for Electro, because he doesn't have to comb over his hair anymore.
I like that his gap teeth got fixed and they remained that way.
So you think it's a mess? I will tell you the things I love. I love how they dealt with Swordsman.
Oh yeah. Well,
He was,
even he felt shortchanged too. I think.
yeah, but I think it was like he was in a place where people knew the history and they could play with it, and then just made him more of a fun guy because you kind of expected him to be the bad guy and to be the foil,
Mm-hmm.
and to kind of have his moment at the end, fencing and being a hero. That was kind of neat.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I also kind of want to see more of his stuff, like more of his story, and maybe he can, maybe going forward he can be the other mentor to Kate, or kind of like he was in the comics to Hawkeye.
Yeah,
So hopefully that maybe that's what they're setting up. I will say I love any scene with Yelena and Kate,
macaroni and cheese.
dude. That the scene on the elevator with the little, even the elf callback where she pushes all the buttons.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was great. Their fight was cool, like that tracking shot through the hallway,
Mm-hmm.
through the offices.
Oh
Um,
man, yeah, they went all out for them, and I'm glad because I want to see those are the two that should be able to fight the best.
yeah, and I hope that we get to see more. I don't know where we would see Florence Pugh next, but I hope that she's not away from too long. Maybe
Oh
like Armor Wars or Secret Invasion. Um,
yeah,
since we haven't gotten like a Thunderbolts type of thing announced. Um,
what
if
would
they
be
re-
weird is if in the next show she shows up with one of the Thunderbolts. What if she shows up with U.S. Agent? What if they are slowly
yeah,
putting them together, and this is the first time we're seeing them? And maybe the second episode we'll see. Well, we don't.
so
We won't have the OG Thunderbolts from the comics, but we'll just have light variations because we won't have Beetle.
give me 1 second, Clay. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Sorry about that.
It's all right, man.
It's a phone call. I was like, oh, hold on, let me see.
Mm.
What were you saying? Sorry.
Oh no, I'm just going through the things I liked. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
I like Swordsman. I like Yelena. I saw people being nitpicky about her Russian accent. I don't care because the tone of it is so funny when it needs to be and
yeah,
serious when it needs to be.
yeah.
Uh,
I think she's great. And I don't know. She's really fun. I'm glad they didn't just make her kind of like Black Widow 2.0. Like she really feels like her own thing.
yeah.
And that was a big thing that we saw in the movie. Um,
I did kind of want to see her show up at the Barton residence at the end. I
hmm,
wanted to see Yelena come with Clint and Kate. I wanted to see that there is some kind of resolution and that she
yeah,
has a family, but this puts her off by herself again. So I don't know. I mean, we never saw how Black Widow left Russia, became partners with Clint, left that lifestyle, and changed her life. So I'd kind of like to see Yelena and her and where she's going in her path.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they alluded to it a little bit in the movie. When we see the flashback, well, not flashbacks, but when she's back in, um, you've seen the Black Widow movie, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When she has to, when she goes back and remembers how she bombed the villain, what's his name? Fuck the bad guy. But then her
Taskmaster.
daughter's there. No, no, no. Yeah, well, yeah, that gets both of them. Right. So we finally see what happens in Budapest. Uh,
Yeah,
so
but I mean, when you're doing episodic, though,
yeah,
like we saw Yelena come to terms with what had happened and what she was trying to do and her final decision.
yeah, and I feel like Marvel's missing an opportunity to kind of do what Star Wars is doing with the comics and just fill in the gaps. Like, if there's anything you're not gonna make a show about, but people want to see, just make it a comic.
That would, you know what though, that would be interesting if they had a Marvel line of comics and an MCU line of
Yeah,
comics. Okay,
Right.
so you take those, but what if the MCU line started to outdraw Marvel? I would not like that. I would not like to
Yeah, I
see
guess
more
not.
comics based on the movie stuff because eventually it fades. I mean, eventually, I mean, Marvel's been going strong since 2008 in these films,
Yeah.
but there'll be a point where I think we're going to get tired of them. I mean, I don't watch everything that's out there anymore because I just am exhausted. Like I didn't even finish the season 3 of Legion, and I really loved that.
Mm. Yeah, I'm definitely more picky about the stuff that I'm watching. Like all the shows, like I don't watch all the CW shows anymore. But that's
Yeah,
only because we have so much stuff now that you can really get to pick. Even the Marvel stuff, like I said, we talked about earlier. We had 9 projects this year.
yeah. I
Like
mean, it's
if you don't watch all of them, like I get that. Like I understand. Because first of all, I don't think they're all for everybody. Like
right.
I can see if you really like One Division, but you may not like Falcon and the Winter Soldier because they're very different shows.
Yeah,
Or Loki, or whatever, or even
yeah.
this Hawkeye. Like,
WandaVision's about trauma, and Cap and Falcon is very political. If
mhm,
these things trigger you and you don't want to watch them, they're not
yeah,
fun. I mean, they're it's weird because the first couple of episodes of WandaVision are fun, but deep down you know what's wrong and why they exist. It would be nice to see just a fun. I don't know. Is there any books that they could make fun that aren't just so serious, political, dealing with what we're dealing with in real life that we could just watch and enjoy and not have to think about afterwards?
um, yeah. I don't know. I like both. I like stuff that makes you think a little bit and kind of reflects the world. But I also like the shows that is full escapism. So I think we should have a nice balance of both.
Yeah.
Um,
Give
so
Tom Taylor and Donnie Cates a writing room.
do it. Oh man, do it.
How fun would that
Um,
be?
Listen, I mean, we'll get to our best of 2021 comic stuff. We'll be preparing for that in the next few weeks. Movies, well, I don't know if there's so much TV. I don't even want to get into TV. Maybe just talk about some more favorite stuff, uh, but yeah, I'm excited. I don't know.
We
There's a
should
whole
make it
bunch of
hard.
stuff.
We should make it harder and just say bring 5 things you love this year
Oh,
from anything.
how
Only
dare you?
5.
I hate you, Clay. You and your restrictions. Let me be. I'm a peacock. Let me fly. Oh, you know what else I tried to watch and I wasn't super on board with? I forgot to mention.
What?
I would try to watch the first episode of MacGruber.
Yeah, it sucked.
It was all. I was like, oh, this isn't what I like. This isn't as fun as the movie was.
That looked like they tried to make something and it didn't work, so they put it into a TV show.
Yeah,
It was fucking horrible. I don't think I laughed in the entire first
I don't think
episode.
so. I didn't even finish the first episode. That was 20 minutes. It's first of all, it's super long, but I was like
Yeah.
15, 20 minutes in. I was like, yeah, I'm done with this. I may check it out later. I mean, yeah, I may go back to it later, but man, yeah, I don't know. It's not the same. Like the movie had a charm that it was interesting. Like it was really interesting, and this show does not have that. I don't know.
It doesn't have jokes. It has meager attempts to be silly that
Yeah,
aren't funny. Like he hides a ball up his butt, and that's like a 5 minute. I mean, it just keeps going, and you're just watching him and people be uncomfortable, and it's not funny. And even the return of Kristen Wiig, they didn't give her enough to do. It,
yeah. I almost wish like they had just done a MacGyver show and then make it funny. I know the
it's
whole sentence, the premise of the skit is like, well, because the skit never really had any premise. It was the same skit all the time,
Yeah,
right?
he fails every time, and everything blows
Uh,
up.
so I don't know. I just forgot. I wanted to bring that up.
But the movie was kind of funny and silly in
Yeah,
the fact
I
that
like
he
the
was an
movie.
incompetent spy. In
Yeah,
here, he's just it's it's bad silly. It's like when silly doesn't work and you're just kind of cringing.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it missed the mark for me. But yeah, I think that's all on Hawkeye. That's all. I don't know. We've been going for 2 hours. I didn't think it was gonna be this long,
Yeah, I didn't
but
either. But I mean, I
we
could
had a
talk
lot of
another
things
5 hours about
for
Hawkeye.
sure.
If you thought it was a hot mess, yeah, it probably
Well,
ended a
just the
little
last episode.
abruptly. Huh?
Yeah, just the last episode felt like there was a lot going on that, even though it was an hour long. Uh, oh, we didn't even talk about the end credits.
Go ahead.
Amazing, amazing. I loved it. I want it. I don't. If Marvel is not working on putting on the musical, I don't know what they're doing. They're fucking missing out.
That's their one shot. You know when they used to do one shots, and
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
their one shot. They need to do it, or just do the full musical and put it on.
Just do
Put
like
it
a
out for
season of.
sale.
Yeah, just do a season or do an actual season of the musical on Broadway or wherever. I mean, I'm sure Marvel would have no problem getting on Broadway. And then put it out as a special on Disney Plus or something like Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, that was fun. I do like. There's a theory that the reason Ant-Man is in there is because somebody saw him when they went back on Endgame. Somebody might have seen him,
Oh, I
and
love
then
that.
that. Yeah, yeah. It doesn't make sense with the time travel rules that they set up, but I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that's funny. That was a funny. Obviously, they haven't said why Ant-Man would be on there, but that would make sense that he was traveling back in time with them. So,
How do you feel about her being Mockingbird, Clint's wife?
well, I mean, she's just Agent 19, right? That they didn't give her a code name or anything, and
But
it could
Agent
be Mock.
19 is Mockingbird.
Right. I mean, Mockingbird could also just be a code. I don't think it
Code name.
erases
I
Bobby
like the
Morse.
code name idea.
Yeah, I don't think it erases Bobby Morse. Even like if they wanted to bring back Adrienne Pilecki or
Please. She is so
uh,
awesome. I love
yeah,
her.
they definitely still could. Like another agent could have taken on the Mockingbird mantle after she retired and got married to Clint, right? Um, so yeah, I like it, and maybe she could be like maybe Linda. I would definitely love to see more Linda Cardinelli in the MCU.
Yeah.
Especially now that they've kind of like, oh, she's kind of a badass too, but you haven't shown me her
Well,
being a badass. Just
you
hints at it.
you have an interesting dynamic because you have her, you have Yelena. So you have two people who were spies for two different countries who
Hmm.
were trained a certain way and upcoming spies. It'd be interesting for those two to team up to train future Shield agents.
Yeah.
I mean, what if the next Mockingbird shows up and it's not the either of the Mockingbirds we've seen? It's a third one,
Hmm.
and the Mockingbirds are essentially American Black Widows.
Yeah, or like Birds of Prey type of that type of group. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah, they have
cool.
so many opportunities to do it, and I'd love to see them just show off a bunch of
If DC
kick-ass.
doesn't use Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Huntress anymore, just bring her over to play Mockingbird.
The third Mockingbird, that whole
Yeah,
team up would, dude, those would be some awesome fucking fights.
yeah, yeah. No, I thought that was really cool. I do hope they would. I mean, they would see. Like I said, the show felt like I don't know, needed a few more episodes or another season. I don't know. I
Yeah,
liked everything. I liked the LARPers that they even got involved. I'm glad Grills didn't die like in the comic.
I am too. I kind of wish I kind of wish they had done classic Hawkeye costume at the end, so when he suited up, he had the classic suit on.
Or
I
like
would,
maybe like a credit scene after where he's trying on that outfit. I'm like, no, I think I'm gonna stick with the other one.
yeah, yeah.
Something
Like
like that.
he pulls the thing over his face. He's like,
Nah,
nah.
yeah,
But I'm sure at some point that because most movies will test run costumes to see how they look, in real life. I would think that they would have done a test on Clint
yeah,
or a test on
yeah.
Jeremy.
Probably. I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
I'm sure they had a hawk guy outfit running around. Well, and one of the things I was talking about with my brother, like it feels like when they cast Jeremy Renner, I don't know that they knew that the Hawkeye role would be so pivotal for everything going forward. He was just kind of a side character in the Thor movie, even though
And
they
then
were,
and then unused in Avengers.
yeah,
And
yeah,
he
they were,
and Jeremy Renner even said he almost didn't come back to play Hawkeye because how he was used in Avengers. And
mhm,
now it's like it's so great to see how he is as Hawkeye because
yeah,
the moments in there where he's actually training and teaching and talking to her are my favorites because there's two moments in there where he calls her his partner,
hmm hmm
and those are the best scenes for me
yeah,
because like when Peter Quill wants to be called Star Lord and then someone calls him Star Lord and he's like yes, like he kind of earned it. To earn that partnership from an Avenger you've worshipped as a kid, to me, that was like the coolest moment of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Just like when they have dinner with her parents and she's like, "So are y'all partners?" He's like, "Yeah." And you see her get excited, but that's only because they were prompted. At the end, when he goes, "I've got to stay and help you. You're my partner." You see her eyes well up, like this is the greatest thing that's happened to her. From what's happened to her dad, what's happened to her mom. There's somebody on her side, and to have someone express that is just the neatest feeling.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I don't know. I like it. Did you come up with an Eddie Murphy MCU casting? I did see. I was looking for characters, and I saw that Eddie Murphy in an interview said, "Fuck that! I don't think I would ever play a superhero." But I did come up with one.
I have one.
I think if we continue to see this whole empire of J. Jonah Jameson's Daily Bugle. Hold on, we got a question for Joker. Doesn't his daughter become Hawkeye in the comics? I don't. Hawkeye doesn't really have a daughter in the comics.
He doesn't have a daughter. Yeah, no. He has a lot of ex-wives and ex-girlfriends.
Yeah, he never settled down. So, and it did feel like at some point they were kind of setting up his daughter in the MCU to take over as the Hawkeye, but I like Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah, more than likely we'll see Ant-Man's daughter.
Take Stature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if we, we know that Tom Holland signed on for more Spider-Man movies, so we will probably continue to see the Daily Bugle, hopefully, because I love J. Jonah Jameson. But I think it needs some legitimacy. So how about we get Eddie Murphy to play Robbie Robertson, opposite J. Jonah Jameson, to try to legitimize the Daily Bugle as they expand their empire.
That is great casting.
Good. I'm glad you liked it because I really struggled.
That was good.
I was like, where the fuck do I put? And then I was like, all right, let me see Spider-Man villains. And then the internet's like, it showed J. Jonah Jameson, and I was like, oh wait, I think Bill Nunn was the
original one.
He played Robbie Robertson in the other Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, what about Robbie, who I think is also a pretty big mentor to Peter in some of the stories.
He is. Yeah, he is like the nicer edge of Joe.
Yeah, and I think him and what's J. Jonah Jameson's actor? Name? I like that all the actors' names just leave my head as soon as
I know, and I can't think of his name. And he's in a ton of shit.
I know. Well, I think they would play really well together.
That is great casting. The only thing I think is then you limit yourself to only scenes that J. Jonah Jameson is in.
Yeah, but then Robbie Robertson has some stuff to do with like the Hobgoblin and stuff later on in the comics.
Yeah, If it's tied more into the story, that'd be great.
Yeah. J.K. Simmons. There we go.
J.K. Simmons. Yeah.
So make it happen, Marvel. Call me. We'll work it out.
Yeah. See, then you almost made me lean into Ben Urich because
fuck.
We lost him in Daredevil, and he's so critical. But that's not who I'm going with.
Okay.
I'm going with a classic character, and I'm going to change his race because I feel like this would be the perfect fit. Rick Jones.
Oh, wow.
Rick Jones was always the normal guy in the middle of all of this. Imagine putting Eddie Murphy as a character who is seeing the Marvel Universe happening around him and just first freaking out and then learning to adapt and then learning to help.
Yeah.
Like that transformation would be incredibly cool. Rick Jones hasn't been in the books at all. He was always a character in Hulk. But he always teamed up with the Avengers. He was kind of like their Snapper Carr. You know how Justice League had Snapper Carr was kind of a guy who hung out and helped out.
Yeah.
Same thing.
We got a quick question in the chat. Do you think there's going to be season 2? I don't think they've announced any season 2 for Hawkeye, although I definitely want to see Haley Steinfeld come back and do something. But I think they finally want to give Jeremy Renner some time off.
I think there will be a season 2. It just won't be Jeremy Renner Hawkeye. I think he will pass the name on and look at the way his wife has passed Mockingbird on.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
maybe. And then yeah, Echo for sure is going to continue to follow Maya. I think
Maya.
right. Yeah, Maya.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And
Uh,
if you liked Echo, definitely check out her stories in Bendis's Daredevil run
mhm.
because those were the best.
Yep. Oh shit. And you may get to find out what happens when Kingpin gets shot in those comics. Somebody showed me, like I was like, I completely forgot about that, and we did cut away. So you know what? As you were saying that, I was like, we may not get to see him enough as Robbie Robertson. I was thinking like, what about Blue Marvel?
Blue Marvel's a great one too.
Um,
Fuck though, I would if I had Blue Marvel though. This is shitty. I am sorry, Eddie Murphy. I would not cast you. I would
yeah.
probably cast Denzel Washington as Blue
Oh
Marvel.
yeah, yeah.
Just he looks like him.
I think because I would Eddie Murphy would definitely bring. I think sometimes Blue Marvel can get a little like not quippy, but he's got because he's so smart and just
So
so like
smart.
yeah, he's just very upfront. He could bring that a little. It's not even arrogance. It's just I don't know. There's something about Blue Marvel that I'm like, he's a little abrasive, and I think Eddie Murphy could pull that off. But now that you say Denzel, I mean,
Yeah, I think Rick. I mean, he's too old to be Rick Jones. That's kind of now that I think about it. But you don't have to be Rick Jones. Oh shit.
yeah, that.
Oh shit. That casting Denzel Washington as Magneto. Now, who's your Professor X?
Oh, good question.
Who do you want to see on screen trading lines with Denzel as Magneto wants to take over the world? Fuck, that would be good. Shit.
It's so hard not to say Patrick Stewart, but
Yeah, no.
all right. Let me see. Let's take a look at the notes. I think we hit all the points.
Damn it, Joker! You're gonna give me a question I'm gonna be thinking about for a while.
Well, we can come back and address it on the next one if you come up with something. Clay.
That's a good question. If Denzel is Magneto, who is your Professor X? What actor would you want to see stand toe to toe with that guy?
Tom Hanks.
Ooh, fuck, that's weird.
Shave his head. Tom Hanks. Let's go. No, he's too likable. Professor X needs to be kind of a little bit more of a. He's such a douche in the comics.
I don't know. I still think about like that first X-Men meeting in the first movie where they Magneto calls him old friend and tips that and everything. Mm-hmm. Like you want to believe these two are so close and intertwined, but also their morals are so different in the way they live their life and the way they see things should be moving forward.
Yep. All right. Clay, do you have any recommendations or anything before we close out the show?
Have a great day after Christmas. I don't know.
Yeah, box that shit up.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Just enjoy yourself. I don't have anything that I've read or watched that I go, you must see this, and that I haven't talked about.
Is there anything you're looking forward to or like on your watch list next?
No.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, don't have to be. This doesn't need to be. Let us know how it goes with the Transporter movies.
Yes.
Maybe and then those. maybe after that pivot onto Crank and Crank 2.
Yeah, she's never seen Crank. Like she's never seen the Jason Statham library of films, and so like Crank is just insane. And then to tell her there's a Crank 2. Yeah.
Oh, we did with Joker. We talked about The Matrix 4 a little bit earlier in the show. If you want to go back and listen to that, but we both really, really enjoyed it.
We love Jessica. We love Neil Patrick Harris. Yeah,
good stuff. Well, I don't have these aren't really. Well, I guess they're recommendations because I'm gonna review them on the channel. But we have no. It's all right. Thank you, Joker,
thanks for tuning in.
So I'll be reviewing Barnstormers, which is the new book with Scott Snyder and Tula Lote on Comixology Unlimited. So if you have that subscription, go check that out. It comes out on Tuesday. Then I'll also be reviewing for Boone this one shot called Dune: A Whisper of Caladan Seas. Wow. It's kind of hard to see. So this is Duke Leto,
mm-hmm.
I think. So it's kind of hard to see a character that Oscar Isaac portrays in the comics, not drawn like Oscar Isaac's. But I'll try to, I try to get past it. And then, like I mentioned, Power Rangers Universe #1, we'll have a video for that. Swamp Thing, Green Hell, go pick this up. And then Wastelanders, Star-Lord #1. And it's actually drawn by local dude, Brent Peoples.
Oh, I love the guy.
Who's here all the time. Yeah. Brent's a good dude. So yeah, stay tuned on the channel. We got a bunch of stuff coming up. Like I said, I'm doing a video of my favorite MCU stuff ranked. And anybody that's watching live, I'll give you a preview of what my number 9 thing is. And then you can figure out the rest. Hold on, let me pull it up. What have you missed? What are you missing? What are you missing from watching on the MCU from this year, Clay? Other than Spider-Man.
I have not seen the Eternals. I have not gone to it. I have not gone to the theater.
So anything that's at the theater. Eternals should be coming out, I think in January is going to come out to
I think it's January 9th or 12th.
Yeah. So here's my number 9 thing. And this doesn't mean that I didn't like it. It just means that
I loved What If.
Yeah. No, I really liked it too. So the fact that it's number 9, it was a hard list to put together because I enjoyed a lot of these projects.
We've been buying the blind bag What If, and we got Vision, Captain Carter, Loki with Loki Alligator.
Yeah.
All the variants that they've put out from Lego are fucking awesome.
Oh, cool. Yeah, man, if I don't want to start buying those blind bags because
I got Star-Lord to T'Challa.
Oh, fucking cool. Well, great. Yeah, this has been a great show. I didn't think we were gonna go this long, Clay. I'm glad we had
this was fun
to talk about. Here, let me Toby getting us out there.
Shit, I'm still gonna be thinking about Denzel as Magneto now.
Listen, you have plenty of time till we can talk about it and talk about it next show.
All right then.
So all right, well, thanks everyone for watching. Everybody that watches live, Joker, Rob, thanks for stopping by on the chat.
Yeah.
If you're watching this, leave a comment, hit the like button, hit the bell, all that good YouTube stuff. We are on our way to 500. We are at 446. For the past week, we've been hovering around 445. Like, we keep losing a viewer or a subscriber. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if people are looking at the end of the year like, maybe I don't want to go into 2022 with these YouTubers.
I'm not cranking out enough extra videos. I'll start working on some more. It's just hard with my back. Yeah, no, it's definitely understandable. But I did finish. I did a one video for every episode of the Wheel of Time. You can go check that out on the channel. I really enjoy that. It's probably one of my favorite shows of this year. And then also we cover the Flash Armageddon crossover event on the CW, which got better as the weeks went on. The first episode was not very good, but the finale really, really sealed the deal. Not enough for me to keep watching the Flash, but just enough to enjoy a crossover. Okay, well, that's good.
So yeah, go check that out. All that stuff's in the channel. We got more comic reviews, movie reviews, trailer reactions, all that stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back. Bye. And let's get out of here.
Let's ride.
Thanks everyone for watching.
Twitter loves you.
Oh yeah. Clay.
Hell, Bebo.
Josh.
My vagina is haunted.